in, that means you're feeling the vibe.
Feel that?
The bell rung, you already been subscribed.
Right.
Right now, the queen, she on live.
Right now.
Please pull over with no phoning when you drive. Dope Soul sporting with the talk. First lady from New York,
Brooklyn.
All my people, you rocking with the chat.
Hit that.
The like button would tell me where you at. You know, step from the NBK. Born and raised up NBK. Hey, real lady, where she holding it down. No matter way how you feel, she gon' greet you with a smile.
Sister, you one of a kind.
Yes.
Oh, sister, it's time you
That's
shine. Dope Soul.
Where you at? Where you at?
Dope Soul.
Where you at? Where you at?
Dope Soul.
What?
Dope Soul.
What?
Your soul.
Where you at? Where you at?
Salute, Knick family. Welcome to the Just Knicking It Weekly Show. Welcome to the channel, Dope Soul Sports Talk, Dope Soul Knicks Talk, a member of the NBK family. We got a lot to talk about tonight. Knicks have been linked to Harden. What's new? Is Divincenzo really an upgrade over Quentin Grimes? We'll talk about that. Josh Hart opted into his contract today. What does that mean for the Knicks? IQ is reportedly asking for at least $100 million. What do you think the Knicks do with that and so much more? Herb Jones, one of my favorite players, contract. What is it? His option wasn't picked up or whatever it is. Anyway, he's a free agent. Mo Bamba was waived by the Lakers. Stafford Don in here early because he think we trying to replace Mitch. Anyway, let me bring the crew in here tonight. Jarrell, Jay Boogie, Jeff Clapter. Oh, okay. He must be having signal problems. Stafford was in here just a minute ago. We got a lot to talk about. I know I say that every week, but we really got a lot to talk about tonight. How you guys doing? And shout out to the chat, by the way.
Fantastic.
Yeah, that was about the first thing that I was going to say. Shout out to the chat. You know how we do Thursdays. We got family here. Let's get it.
Shout out to the chat. Shout out to the panel. Shout out to the host, man. What up, Cap? What up, Rail? What up, Queen? Everybody. Off top, off rip. Don't even play with it tonight. Hit them like buttons. We on a mission tonight. Hit them like buttons. ASAP. Soon as you walk in the door.
Definitely. Soon as you walk in the door, hit the like button. We'll remind you a few times throughout the day. We'll you know, but come on now. Y'all already know what it is. Listen, let's just start, bam, right off the top. James Harden. So apparently he's going to opt into his contract with the Philadelphia 76ers, and they're going to work together to trade him. Now, Woj said that the Clippers and the Knicks are a possible destination for Harden. I don't know how true that is, or if the Knicks are always just mentioned whenever there's a big name player that becomes available. Then later on, you hear a little bit about Miami might be in the mix. But to the panel and to the chat, your thoughts on Harden at this point in his career? He may not be a guy that can carry a franchise or carry a team, but is he somebody you think could help the Knicks? Do you think he's that finishing piece? I know there's a lot of Knicks fans who feel like the Knicks are just one piece away. Is he that finishing piece? Just overall, your thoughts on James Harden to the Knicks.
I guess I'll start. I'm going to be quick. We got a lot to discuss, so I'm going to just say hell no right now for James Harden for the obvious reasons. Don't get me wrong. It's not like James Harden is still like can't play like an all-star caliber basketball, but I don't know. I don't think he's on our timeline. Like if we trade for him, are we trying to re-sign him after next season? And you know how that could be tricky when it comes to James Harden. You don't know. He might come to the Garden 20 pounds overweight just so he can not play or play under his conditions and stuff like that. So I'm going to say no to James Harden, man. He can go somewhere else with that contract.
I'm right along with you, man. I don't want no parts of James at all, period. You know what I'm saying? I don't need another guy, you know what I'm saying, that want to, as they say on TV, dribble. You know what I'm saying? Even though he always average a lot of assists, he does at times get a rock up, you know what I'm saying? But we got other positions that we can fill out that'll make our team even better than not having those positions filled out, and you add James Harden to it. So matter of fact, go ahead and do a sign and trade. Send him the baggage claim over there in Toronto, and go ahead and get your man Nurse. Go get your man Fleet.
Jeff?
Well, my biggest problem with James Harden is he's a notional defender. When he gets the notion, he'll defend, but most of the time he doesn't. Kind of like Julius Randle, Right. We're familiar with that. And so I wouldn't probably do the James Harden trade, but I see the logic in it from this perspective. James Harden is still a top 30 player in the NBA. We don't have a lot of those on our roster. Maybe not even one, depending on how you rank people. I would put Brunson in that category, and I would probably put Randall somewhere in there too. He's made all NBA, so I think he's top 15 anyway. I think so. If we can add another one of those, it depends on the price. But if you add another player of that caliber, so let's just say, I'm just making this up, but let's just say it costs Fournier's contract and RJ Barrett and maybe a couple of protected picks. Okay. You bring in Harden. He's a much better shooter than RJ. He's not a good defender, but RJ's not a good defender either. So I don't know that the defense is going to take a huge step back from what it was the previous season. I think keeping Mitch is probably a necessity at that point. But which is okay with me because Staff and I, we're co-presidents of that fan club. But I think that he does a lot of things that the Knicks need. He's a great three-point shooter. I hate his defense. I don't really like his availability that much. He's injured a lot, but is he an upgrade? Yes. And here's the other thing. Since he opted in, he's a $35 million expiring contract. So if he doesn't work out, you have just gained yourself salary flexibility for the next season. And if you're worried about aprons, like everybody is, that's a piece of the puzzle. And I'm sure we're going to talk about this more later, but if you're Leon Rose and your valuation is that I would rather have Emmanuel Quickly than RJ Barrett, you ship him out, you get in Harden for a year, you see if it works, if it doesn't, fine, and then you can slot IQ right into that money that RJ made.
So you're saying RJ would go in that trade, and after 1 year, if it doesn't work out, you've cleaned off RJ's salary at least. You're out of that contract, and you have a bit more flexibility whether you want to sign IQ, because it doesn't look like the Knicks. We'll talk about it later. I'm not sure if the Knicks are going to sign IQ to an extension, so he may go to restricted free agency. You get another year to look at IQ. I'm not saying I would do this, but from what I'm understanding, you'll get another year to look at IQ, and you would have had James Harden for a year. Then you decide you don't want him. You can move IQ into that money or decide to go in a totally different direction. Okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. Ajay, I hope you hit the like button on your way in.
Yes, I definitely did. Salute. So I had to, sorry I'm late, man. Queen, good evening to you. Salute, fellas. Jarrell, Jeff, Jay Boogie. I see Stafford Dunn's in and out.
Yeah,
and
definitely what happens when you pacing back and forth. I think that's what.
And definitely salute to the chat, man. The chat is already on fire. So I had to rush in here to get on before you stop talking about James Harden. Hell no! Where are we going with that? Where are we going with that? Listen, man. Listen, you know my motto. You didn't want me then, don't want me now. He didn't want to come here during his prime. Now that he's on the way down and he's going down fast. Listen, I don't want James Harden. He's got probably one good season left in him. And like Jarrell said, he probably going to come into camp out of shape. It's going to take him like the first half of the season to get into shape. Second half of the season, he's going to be all up in the strip club. Listen, man, I don't want this guy up in here. I don't care how much sense it makes basketball-wise or money-wise. And here's the other thing. So we've been holding on to all these assets for all these years, right? For something big to happen. And that big thing gonna be James Harden? Come on, man. Listen, I'm gonna hold on to them draft picks for something better, something bigger, something better, something that'll last longer. Not this guy who's gonna give me a year, maximum 2 years, and overweight. You know what they call him, Pillsbury Doughboy. Listen, I'm good with that, man. I don't want that thing.
And plus, like getting James Harden, we'll probably have to trade RJ and multiple picks to a division rival. So
exactly. Like we've been holding on to all these picks, all these assets, and then you finally give them up for James Harden, who's going to give you like 1-2 years max. That would make no sense.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. Unless, it's not even about them trying to get off a salary, in terms of a salary dump, because he could just opt out, in that case. Yeah, I'm with you guys. Listen, he's still a very good player. He's probably better than anybody we have on our team right now. Maybe not Brunson. You can argue, Brunson or not, but the thing with Harden is, first of all, he's not the same. But listen, no player is when they get into their 30s. They're not the same as they were when they were entering their prime. You could say that for KD. You could say that for any player. But I just don't like the fact that this is a guy, when he gets perturbed or turned off for any reason, that's it. Now he got an injury. Now he got extra Krispy Kremes in the locker room. Now he's gaining weight. Now he don't want, he'll just, quit might be a strong word, but he'll lose his motivation, to put it nicely. And I just can't help but see, remember him in the playoffs, this past playoffs in Game 7. It was just like, he just felt like, to me, he just looked like whatever. Like whatever. He just didn't seem, engaged. So it's not about the talent. I think if this was an engaged James Harden, there are a lot of guys, what is he, 31, 32, who could still play in this league, but it's the other stuff with James Harden that makes me want to pass.
James Harden about to turn 34.
34. Okay.
Yeah. What if, though, just to throw a little monkey wrench into this, what if it's a three-way trade between us, the Clippers, and Philly that sends maybe both Harris and Harden out to Houston, and we pick up Paul George and then fill in the gaps of whatever Philly needs to get to make that worthwhile? What would y'all think about that?
I mean, it goes back to the Paul George conversation. I think those who wanted Paul George, I think they would like it. Those who were against Paul George, I don't know if that would change anything. I'm okay with Paul George. I do understand the risk, but I'm okay. He only has 2 years left. But what I'm hearing with Paul George is he wants to be extended. But he doesn't have a no trade clause. So, I mean, if they move him, that would be on the Knicks to extend him or not.
Listen,
it's not like they would have to.
Whatever happened to long sustainable winning? These guys are like 2-year rentals. Why can't we get some young studs up in here who gonna go? Listen, Jalen Brunson's 27. You don't need no 33-year-old guy coming over here.
Well, nobody's giving those guys up.
Right.
That's the thing. I'm with you. I would like give me Brandon Ingram, give me SGA, give me but
they're not available.
No, I know, but listen, you lose everything you've been harvesting. You've been holding on to these things for so long, right? All of a sudden, you give for Paul George, and your window's 2 years. James Harden, your window's a year and a half. Like the other half of the year, he's in strip clubs. Like we can't do that. It would defeat the purpose of what this front office been doing since they've been here, right? Collecting all these draft assets, doing all these things, and you give it all up for like a 1-2 year window. And then after that, we go back on that just a little.
Sure. Can I push back on that just a little bit, Ajay? Sure. So we have Jalen Brunson on a value contract for the next 2 years. After that, he's going to opt out, and he's going to be making big time money, probably double his salary. So in a lot of ways, from a finances perspective, especially, but from a talent perspective as well, you're kind of on a 2-year window with Jalen Brunson here. And so you need to get the players in here, not guys who are going to be ready 3 years from now when you got to extend him and them too. You need to get guys in here who can help you to win now. And as far as a basketball fit is concerned, I don't know of a player who fits in with the rest of our roster better than Paul George does.
Oh, listen, Paul George is okay. Listen, he's 100 years old. I understand, but all that James Harden nonsense, I'm not trying to hear that. Like, what are we gonna do with James Harden? No, Paul George, I get it, because we need an upgrade at the wing positions. That's fine. But what are we with James Harden is not fit. I don't.
You getting real excited? We all agreed with you about.
I know
about Harden. We had moved on to George because he had talked about what if it was a 3-man shade.
All right, I'm still hot about the James Harden thing, man.
Oh, okay, but I'm just.
I mean, what we do? I'm still hot about it, man.
We in agreement with you. You're like, what are we talking about here? We in agreement.
No, but I think it's I don't know, clickbait. I don't know, whatever. Try to make it interesting so people could listen to it. Because
But you know what? That's us. What about the front office? What if the front office is really mulling that over?
Right.
I don't think they would. There are too many basketball minds in there for them to out of all the players that are available. So we let KP. Now, B-ball, listen, man. That James Harden thing got me, man. No, so we let KP go for nothing.
He got off the train. I stopped earlier.
I ran. So Queen, like, and we letting all these guys slide for nothing, for second-round picks, right? We're not doing anything, and then all of a sudden we want to give up some good stuff for James Harden.
You're referring to Bill and Collins, who was basically
giving Porzingis. Like, a lot of guys are going away for cheap, right? And then we want to go after this guy.
We're going to get
available for cheap. I think that's the only way the Knicks would consider it. Like, I don't think the Knicks are looking to give away a massive superstar package like Brooklyn did when they acquired him from Houston. Leon Rose is too cheap for that to begin with. But the other thing is it's a 1 year rental. So because it's a 1 year rental, Philly doesn't have a whole lot of leverage there to ask for the sun, the moon, and the stars. And he would be the best shooting guard on the team in an instant if he got here. I mean, I love Quentin Grimes as much as the next person, but Harden is a lot better than Quentin Grimes at this point in his career.
Offensively,
yes. But let me ask this question, and thank you, Jeff. What if he's coming just as a piece, not as a savior, not to be a top player? What if he's just coming as a piece? And what if you don't have to give up a lot? What if you have to give up one young player and 2 protected picks, something real cheap? Because I think what Philly is trying to do is get something for him.
Right.
And instead of just him, walking for nothing. So you're right. I don't think they're going to ask for a lot. And you're right. You're not going to get RJ on a 1 year rental. So if the price is cheap, are you doing it?
So can I answer that? If the price is cheap, it won't be the Knicks. It'll be like Miami Heat who get him. He makes more sense with the Heat over there. Or if it's really cheap, we're not going to get it. Unless James Harden says specifically he wants to come to New York. And we know that's not the case.
Yeah, that's not the question, though.
No, you said if it's really cheap, would we?
If it's cheap.
Would you do it?
That's tough, man.
If it was one young player and 2 protected picks, would you do it?
Who's the young player?
Yeah, I don't know.
Not Grimes.
Not IQ.
Not IQ. It will have to be somebody like OB since we don't plan. If you don't plan on signing him.
That's true.
So it'll have to be OB and some picks.
Trevor Keels.
No.
No,
Hey.
Skills got to
Hey,
blow up some league. What?
we're negotiating, right? Maybe they say you come low. Trevor Keels in some picks.
Yeah, getting Harden is almost as bad as trading for Zion.
Nah.
Trading for Zion wouldn't be bad.
Yeah,
but getting Harden to me, I don't know.
Harden was actually more available than Zion last year, and he led the league in assists, I think. So
Zion been in the league 4 years, and he's played a little over one season.
And you guys don't think that's gonna get better at some point?
It might, but
might
you're
not.
rolling a $40 million dice.
Right. It might not.
You're rolling a $40 million dice. It might,
I think
and it
it's
might
gonna
not.
get
Are you putting $40 million on it?
Of James Dolan's money, sure.
Well, not just James Dolan money, the salary cap as well. And remember, if he doesn't play, before it was just about a monetary penalty. Let him sit on the bench. We just bring other players in, and we'll just pay. We'll pay the tax. Now, if he sits on the bench at 40 million or 35 million, whatever it is, it's going to be hard for you to build a championship contending team with that much money sitting there, because you're not going over the. Are you going over the second apron to sign more players? Probably not.
But I mean, did they say he's available? I heard rumblings, but I don't know. Did they really say
man, Zion got a lot going on right now, so this might not be the time, bro. Like maybe next season, we'll see.
Or in 3 seasons, let him clear that stuff up.
Yeah, man. Let his kids be toddlers at least before he come over here.
Somebody said Zion wants to come here for the food.
Nah, you don't leave New Orleans to go to New York for the food.
Yeah, New Orleans got some good food, man.
Yeah, they do. Fournier got to be part of these deals. Yeah.
B-baller for real said Trevor Keels 7 foot now.
He stretched out, so
He'll
he
be
keep
9
growing.
foot tall by the end of the week.
Yeah, he grow an inch every show.
Yeah. All right. Well, that was the other issue is, and Jeff alluded to this earlier in regards to Mitch, with a Brunson Harden backcourt. You're gonna need OG, you're gonna need Grimes, you're gonna need Mitch, and you're gonna need other reinforcements.
What's that guy in Memphis?
Dylan Brooks.
You might need Dylan Brooks too.
Nah.
I don't ever need Dylan Brooks
to run his mouth.
No. He had to be for free.
Yeah. Deuce and Keels got paid today. Really? How much? Be using up your salary cap. How much did Deuce get paid? He was making
1.6.
That's about right.
They just picked up his option.
They picked up the 1.6 option.
Oh, okay. I thought he got a new
They made an offer to Keels, but I don't think that was published. I don't know how much it was.
Okay.
It's probably a minimum contract also. I can't imagine him getting more than Deuce. Deuce is a much better player.
All right. Anything else on Harden? We made quick work of that.
Yeah. That was a no-brainer. That was an easy one.
All right. This is what I want to talk about. I talked about it a little bit on Queen's Court. Hold on. Sorry about that. Donte Divincenzo. And I forgot. I think that's right. I guess the question I have, so he's been linked to the Knicks with their non-taxpayer mid-level exception, which would be about $12 million. There's been multiple reports that the Knicks are interested in the 6'4" shooting guard. Clearly, we don't have enough on the roster already. I believe this is his fifth or sixth year coming up. He's played, on multiple teams. He won a championship with Milwaukee. Last season, he played with Golden State. This is his last year stats. 72 games for Golden State. He started 36 of them. He averaged 26. He played 26.3 minutes, 9.4 points, 4.5 rebounds, 3.5 assists, 1.3 steals, shot 43.5. Is that right? It might have been 48.5. Can somebody check that? Shot 43.5% from the field, 39.7% from the three-point line, and 81.7% from the free throw line.
That's right.
That's right. 43.5% from the field overall. Okay.
Mhm.
I guess the question I have for the panel is he really an upgrade over Quentin Grimes? I know for myself, I do think we need an upgrade at shooting guard. I know a lot of Knicks fans don't agree with me, but I was really looking for someone who wasn't as streaky as Grimes, didn't run as hot and cold as Grimes. And I know Grimes is working his way in, and in a few years, I still see him as the shooting guard of the future for the Knicks. I just don't think he's ready right now. And I was looking for someone a bit more seasoned, so to speak. But I keep hearing DiVincenzo. So I guess I'll ask you guys, do you think he is an upgrade over Quentin Grimes?
You want to go in the circle again?
Yeah.
All right,
Let's do
so
that.
I'll go first. No, I don't think it's an upgrade with Quentin Grimes. I don't really think it really makes sense to get him for all the reasons that you said earlier. Like I said last week, I think the Knicks kind of specialize in relationship rosters. So to me,
Relationship rosters.
this is just another, like, DiVincenzo was like Jalen Brunson's roommate when they was in college. Like they're really close. They're like best friends. So I think other than that, it really makes no sense for him to be on this team. Like it's almost being redundant at this point. So he'll be a bench, like Coach said, he'll definitely be a bench player, but I don't see him and IQ coming off the bench in the guard position and have Josh Hart here. So I don't see that meshing well at all. So it's definitely a no for me.
Yeah.
One thing before I talk about DiVincenzo, the player, that I think is worth noting is just because the non-taxpayer MLE is $12.4 million doesn't mean that that's what we have to pay him.
That's true.
That is
Yeah,
true.
I don't know. Maybe if he has enough suitors, we would have to go the full, but it may be. I mean, he only made I think he only made like $3 or $4 million last year.
4.5,
So
something like 4.5,
was it?
4.7, something like that. Yeah.
So you could pay him 8 or 9, and that's a hefty pay raise for the guy, is what I'm saying. So you don't necessarily have to go all the way up. And the reason I think that's important is because if you sign him to that, then you hard cap yourself to that luxury tax line, because once you sign a player to that, you're saying that we're going to be a non-tax paying team the whole season. So you've effectively put a ceiling on yourself. And so you really have to be careful in what deals that you make. So
it's not just you have to be a non-taxpayer at the time of the signing. You have to be a non-taxpayer for the entire year.
correct.
Okay.
Well, by the end of the year, I don't know if it's necessarily. In other words, you can be, but no, actually, I think it is all year. I think it hard caps you where you can't spend over that tax line. So you have to be really sure that this is the guy that you want if you're going to use that money. I don't necessarily buy it. He's real redundant as far as I'm concerned.
Right.
The only thing that makes sense, and I've said this before, so I don't want to dwell on it too much. The only way this makes sense is if we're making another deal where two of our young players, our guards, are going out, and so we're for maybe a wing, and then we're sliding him in to one of those spots, because it's only a 9-man rotation. There's only so many minutes to go around. If Josh Hart opted in, they're not trading him. Right? He didn't agree to opt in so he could get traded somewhere. So his minutes are probably going to at least stay the same. Are they going to tell RJ he's going to get less than 30 minutes if he's here? I don't think so. And so if he's playing 30 and Hart is playing 25, quickly we want to have 20 or 25 minutes, again, assuming he's here. Where does that leave playing time for DiVincenzo? It doesn't. So the only thing that makes sense in my mind is if we're getting DiVincenzo, then two of Barrett, Grimes, possibly Toppin, I guess. Two of Barrett, Grimes, Toppin. Two of those three guys are probably headed out of town, and quickly. Two of those four guys probably headed out of town, if that's the move that you make, in my opinion.
Right. Paris Duggar said, "Why over Grimes? How about with Grimes?" Listen, as much as I have issues with some aspects of RJ Barrett's game, I don't think DiVincenzo is better than RJ Barrett. But let me just check in with the chat. 1804 Toussaint, doesn't Donte shoot like 40% at the three? I think they want someone to start at the two with consistency. David L says Donte is a vet. Keith Turner, Grimes is not even close to Donte. And I think there was one more. Wild Boy Trey, ain't hearing none of it. Are y'all serious right now? DiVincenzo is better than Grimes right now and way more confident. You know, the confidence is definitely, you know, that could be why he's not as aggressive as, you know, we would like him to be in terms of searching for his shots and taking his shots. It could be confidence. It could be, you know, I'm just playing my role. I'm not sure what it is. Hopefully that changes next season. But that is one thing that DiVincenzo has over Grimes, and that he's been in the league longer. You know, he played with Golden State. They played a game at a different level. He was around a lot of vets. He won a championship, so he was with Middleton and you know, and Giannis. He's been in these high leverage games before. So I think in that respect, he is a little ahead of Grimes, but he's been in the league 5 years. He should be, in that respect. Boogie.
I don't even see I don't see Donte and Grimes being compared as far as being on this team. I think it's a little bit further, more deeper than that situation. One is you're not going to get rid of Grimes for him when you didn't get rid of Grimes for Donovan. Well, I think I do know that he's the perfect adult to be on this team. He fits what we're doing. He has chemistry and relationships on this squad with the players, not the office, not CNA and all that, but with the players. You know, I do believe what I believe is Quickly's going to be the one out, because both of them do the same thing. They both play the wings. They both shooters. They both can hustle, can rebound. They both can knock down some treys. But it's just Donte has a little bit more experience than him. I believe, with us not, I believe that Quickly's going to be the odd man out, and I think they saving Quickly, and I believe we get ready to go after OG. And that'll be the perfect fit. Toronto's going to need another guard. They're going to need another guard that they can groom into being a point guard or whatever. They don't have one over there. They just draft the shooter over there. The guy that come from out of Kansas. They just drafted another shooter, so they're going to need somebody to handle the rock, because I don't believe Fleet is going back. So that'll be the perfect scenario with OG will get $17 million or something like that, and we haven't even gave IQ a contract. We can allow them to make their own contract with him. I think that's the perfect swap right there, and maybe something with that. And that gives us somebody that can fill in IQ's role, and along with getting us something else that we needed to go along with another role player as far as playing the 3 and the 4, even when Julius ain't there. And even if Julius wind up leaving, still you got OG that can move into the 4 slot. I just think, it's a perfect match. They planning on something, something else, a little bit further down the line. They just trying to weigh out their options. But with old boy, he opted into his contract. It's telling me that they get ready to go get Donte all over. If otherwise, he don't even do that. You know what I'm saying? Because he know he got the Knicks You know what I'm saying? Hanging on. Know that they want to pay him. Know they don't want to waste a draft pick and let him go. And know that Josh just brings too much to the table. So they already don't talk to have communication about what they got going on. And I think he's the perfect replacement for Quick and a lot more cheaper. You know what I'm saying? If you figure 10 million per year, 30 for 3 years, you know what I'm saying? That leaves us an extra $7 million to play with to go get this guy out of Toronto. So I mean, I'm good with the situation, but only if you're going to get OG. If you're not going to get OG and using Quick in that deal, I see no sense for you going to get Donte when you got Quickly could do the same thing, still catch a shooter, still they both dribble the ball by the same. Neither one of them really no point guards. You know what I'm saying? So if you're not making that move, I'm keeping IQ, but then again, you don't want to have 4 players over $100 million and our roster is already you know what I'm saying, smashed and tore down with this collective bargain agreement coming in and everything. That's not what you want to do. So yeah, I think that's a good move if we only replace an IQ, but I'm not replacing him for Grimes. I'm not doing that. I need more bigger defensive players on our squad.
Oh, I mean, that's a twist. And you're not the only one. There's been some others in the chat who says he's a point guard. Someone on Twitter who said he's a point guard. And, we'll talk about this later. Maybe we can talk about it, in conjunction. IQ is asking for, 9 figures, which is, $100 million at the very least. Maybe that's what the Knicks are thinking. If we got to move one of these guys, I just can't see the Knicks bringing in Divincenzo with Hart, who's 6'4", Grimes, who's 6'4",
Right.
6'5", IQ, who's 6'3". I just can't see them doing that unless, to your point, Boogie, they're gonna move IQ for somebody and bring Divincenzo in
Right.
to take those, some of those minutes. Though I don't like the fit between OG and RJ Barrett, unless RJ Barrett finds a jump shot over the summer. So, and defends his position. Now, if he did, can you imagine that if RJ and OG were similar players and both of them shot the ball well and both of them defended their position well? Now we talking. But I don't, that's not how I'm envisioning, RJ Barrett. I'm hoping for that, but that's not how I'm envisioning RJ. But that's a good point. Ajay, is Divincenzo an upgrade over Grimes in your mind?
Well, I don't know if he's an upgrade, but I'm gonna go with Jay Boogie on this one, and I understand and I agree with what he's saying.
Mm-hmm.
Getting DiVincenzo over Quentin Grimes, bringing him over here as the team is currently constituted doesn't make any sense.
Mm-hmm.
Like structurally, it doesn't make sense for the team, right? So unless somebody's going out, like one of our guards is going out, or something like, there's got to be another move to make this one make sense, because it doesn't make sense. First of all, where are you gonna play right now? If we have that, like who's gonna lose minutes?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that's
right.
And like you said, Queen, like how many of these 6'4" guys can we have on the team before? Listen, it's the NBA. It's a big men's game. All right. Yeah. When I say big men, 6'5", those guys, I mean, they'll swallow you up, especially, in a playoff series, man. You put a couple of big guys on those guys, it's a wrap. But my question about DiVincenzo is, if he's that good, if he's that clutch, if he's all that, why aren't the other teams keeping him, and why is he coming so cheap? Why did Milwaukee keep him? Well, I mean, why isn't he not in demand around the league if he's so good? What are we missing? These teams don't make mistakes like that. If somebody's good, you're in the league, listen, they're gonna throw the cash at you. Everybody's gonna want you. Like, he's not in crazy demand. So there's something we don't know. Like you said, it's relationship rosters. So he's coming here because his guys are here. But I don't see the league going crazy over him. You see James Harden becomes available. It's everybody's talking about it, like who's going after him. DiVincenzo's available. It's like,
But he's not on Harden's level though.
I know, but I'm saying it's barely a footnote in the news. You know what I'm saying? We know it because we're the Knicks. Nobody else, probably other team, other fans don't even know DiVincenzo's available. So
but
if
there
he's
are
that
other
good,
teams. There's other teams in the running, from what I understand, other than the Knicks. In all fairness,
Chicago, I saw. Chicago's interested in it.
yeah. Listen, he's an up and coming player. He's not a star. He's a role player.
no, he's a good player. I really liked him when he played for Milwaukee. I didn't watch a whole lot of Golden State game. They play out west, so we don't see a lot of them. But when he was with the Bucks, I thought he was great. I thought he was really, really good. So no, he's a good player. But like the way the team is now, I don't think it makes sense to go after him unless, like Jay Boogie said, there's another move coming to make this one make sense.
Right.
I think another move will have to be coming, and I don't think it would be like a replacement for Grimes. Like a lot of people think that DiVincenzo is a lot more aggressive than Grimes. He's really not. Like I don't think he's ever averaged as many points as Grimes averaged last season.
His
whole career. So, and plus, if you look at his field goal attempts, they're about comparable to Grimes.
Jarrell, I doubt that they would get rid of Grimes for DiVincenzo, because remember, they did not want to get rid of Grimes for Donovan Mitchell, so they really value him a lot. I don't think DiVincenzo is going to be what's due him in.
Right.
I don't think Grimes is leaving though. I think you can have both of them on the team split in minutes. Like I don't see him replacing Grimes and Grimes like being traded and being off the roster.
See, look, let me hold on. I'm gonna put this up.
Let me read the super chat while you're doing that. Shout out.
I was actually gonna put some up, but you can read the super chat first because somebody asked me what game was I watching. I'm looking at stats.
Shout out to Paris Duggar. I appreciate you. Vincent, okay, we didn't cut it down more. Vincenzo makes spectacular plays. Spectacular. Great D also.
He averaged 9 points last season and only shot the ball 7.
Right?
9.4.
9.4.
So yeah, I usually, if it was 9.5, I would have said 10.
Okay.
He averaged 7.8 shots last year per game. So give it up to 8. Grimes is like around 8 or 9. They're comparable, and Grimes shot a little better from the field. I think DiVincenzo shot 1% better from 3, and everything else is pretty much comparable.
Right. The only thing he has on Grimes is the fact that he's been in the league longer.
Right.
More experience.
More experience, and he's been in championship games. He's been in these high leverage.
Right. That's the difference. Like and
that's a big difference too. Right. Like if we had him playing Grimes minutes, maybe we get to game 7.
Right. Just because they experience.
And I'm not putting it on Grimes. I'm just saying maybe we get there. Paris Duggar, appreciate the super chat. DiVincenzo is Brunson's guy, high IQ, big shot maker. Okay.
And one more thing you look at, only other thing I can look at as far as with Grimes is, what I'm saying, Grimes has the potential to become better than Donte.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So if he has that potential, and you're getting a guy that's just not too much older than him, you know what I'm saying, and also fits our timeline, and it's not wore down, ran down, and everything. You could, if Grimes reaches his peak and becomes better than him, you got to pay Grimes. So maybe I'm just going back to speaking a little bit more on the Grimes situation. You know what I'm saying? If Grimes is the one eliminated with him, you're gonna have to pay Grimes too. Maybe they see Grimes as getting more money and become a more expensive player than even IQ. I don't know. It's never here nor there, but like you just said, that's his man. And for us to go anywhere, you're gonna have to do what Brunson is asking us to do. He's a part of it. He's part of decisions, and he's recruiting. Ain't no telling what he might do when he get to the FIBA. You know what I mean? So, it's good to have finally got somebody that, okay, we settled in and we building around this point guard. Because you can't build around a power forward. So let me just throw that out there. That was never going to work. You just hope your power forward go ahead and do what he need to do. But you don't build around a power forward. Now they're building around Jalen Brunson, and that's his man. And his man that just came from Portland, that's his man. And these guys come over here and they're high level, high IQ playing type guys with adult mentality, they're gonna go get them.
Yeah, I mean, you bring up a good point.
Mm-hmm. Hold on. Wait, you guys see my picture? You guys see my picture? Listen, there's 200 people listening, and let me see, 80 likes. All right, that's less than 50%, man. Come on, y'all get it.
That's
so easy. It's so easy to support us that way, man. Hit the like button, man. Hit the like button.
This is another thing. Do the Knicks, if they're serious about Divincenzo, do they feel like they're catching him before he pops? I think they did that with Jalen Brunson, Julius Randle. I don't know if they thought Julius Randle would pop, but I think they had some inkling that Jalen Brunson was on his way up. Is that what they're thinking when it comes to DiVincenzo? That, this guy is probably ready to take the next step, and if we can get him on a cheaper contract before he pops, that may help. I'm not sure.
That's a great point. That's a great point, Queen. I mean, that's a great point. Because all that guy needs is a spot, a position. He got it all. He come from a good, organization in college, championship bound. He been in the league. He been around great organizations from Milwaukee to Golden State. Now you're talking about bringing him over here into an up and coming, organization, that meaning us. And he's a guy that can come in that can help the organization grow. He might be in position, get ready to pop. And then you said, like you said, for that type money, 6'4", 6'5", shooting guard, 3-and-D, that know how to play, he might. If he started, I don't see him at all not averaging 16 points with us, because his game says that. He can knock down shots. He can get his own shot. And he can get the hustle shots, and he can knock down free throws. And he ain't scared. And he play D, So, and he's not stationary. And he's going the opposite way of all the left-handed players. So, unlike, even though Grimes is going that way, but, Grimes is just doing it inside, the offensive set, whereas Donte going to cut and move and let you know, yo, I'm open. Hit me. Don't, or he going to wave them more. I got this. He's more of a talkative player. So you're right, Queen. He can pop. Because he ain't popped yet, because he ain't been in position to pop. But let that man get his own spot in his own position. He might take off in the garden.
Who we getting rid of, though? That's the question. Because like you said, they're not going to bring him here with the current squad. Somebody's going to go.
I mean, we talked about IQ, but is it possible? Remember, when they wasn't going to give up Grimes for Donovan Mitchell, that was under the old CBA. That CBA really changed a lot of things and a lot of thinking. And so I'm sure already they're even looking into next year, who we have to pay next year. And if, maybe what we do this year impacts our ability to sign Grimes to an extension. So that can be a part of it. Maybe they're a bit more willing to move off of Grimes. I'm not saying I would, but maybe they're a little more willing to move off of Grimes. If you can lock, let's say you can lock DiVincenzo up for $10 million for 4 years. That's $40 million. I don't think you're getting Grimes for $10 million coming off that rookie contract next year.
but he's under team control for the next 2 years at a lot cheaper than them. So over the balance of the 4 years, it may be a wash.
No, I think it's if they don't sign, I think it's going to be the same thing that's going on right now with Quickly. So he'll play this year, and then if they don't sign him,
class after though, isn't he?
it is after. It is after. So he'll get to play next year, but then if you don't sign him to an extension, he goes to the following year. Yeah, that's true. It'll be 2 years, next year and the year after, before he becomes a restricted free agent.
So for the next 2 years, he's actually contract-wise the most valuable of all those guards because we have to pay him the least. And that's one of the reasons why they picked up Deuce's option as well, because they trust Deuce, they like Deuce, and they don't have to pay him very much compared to everybody else.
Yeah, they could have kept that too, but okay. So that was a little Deuce thing. All right, fine. But yeah, let me just shout out to the chat. Keith Turner, Donte isn't a role player. Coach Sierra 617. I hope I got that right. No, he's a good role player, plain and simple. Keith Turner again. Donte is a starter in this league without a doubt. I mean, listen, is he a starter that hasn't had an opportunity, or is he just a role player?
He started a year for Milwaukee, and then they let him go, or they traded him to Sacramento. He did start for them. And if you look at his starters minutes from that year, they're about comparable to Grimes, and he was around like 23, 24 years old, just like Grimes is.
Mm-hmm.
So they're very, very comparable.
Okay. Jalen was a needed point guard. We need starter help and move Grimes to the bench. That's what I'm saying. We bringing in all of these. I don't know if we're going to have the money. I mean, if we're going to get starter help, it's going to be through trade. It's not going to be through the mid-level. It's not going to be through the mid-level exception for sure. Oh, come on now, C-Mac. Donte is a G League All-Star.
Yeah, I won't go that far.
Wow. Relax, my man.
That's not true. He is better than that, man. Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah, but why are we not trying to make move at the position that actually needs upgrades?
What position you talking about?
Starter.
That's a lot.
It's like three of them. It's three out of five positions.
Yeah.
Like, 3 out of 5 ain't bad, huh?
AJ gets so upset when Atlanta traded Collins for a can of Campbell soup. Oh my God.
I was like,
he said, wait, let me read it.
AJ get mad, man.
Because I don't understand. Listen, it's quite possible we're doing something. I don't know what it is, and it's taking so long. The same thing last year. We thought we was doing something with Donovan Mitchell, and then all of a sudden, we wake up one morning, it all went up in flame. Like, poof, nothing happened.
Flying.
He said, Rudy Gay and a second-round pick. Meanwhile, we have like 15 second-round picks in the next 4 years, holding on to them with a tight grip.
Right.
I mean, that's our Evan Fournier with second-round picks. Listen, we could have gotten Collins, even if we flip him and get something better for him.
Because I think that's what
Atlanta's been trying to trade Collins for like 2 years now. You ain't just gonna flip him. Nobody wants him. I mean.
I think that's what Utah's going to do, because they got Lauri Markkanen at that position. So I think they're going to flip him at some point.
Yeah, for something better than Rudy Gay and a second-round pick, though.
I think they both
trade Minnesota for 8 first-round picks or something.
But Freezy made a good point. Atlanta did get a trade exception, I believe, and so that will allow them to go after a player like a Siakam or somebody else and not have to match salaries, not have to give up, as much, because they have a trade player exception.
I think they're pretty concerned about the aprons and the taxes and stuff too, though. So I'm not sure. I mean, what you're saying is exactly right, but I think that they're also that was as much a cost-cutting move as it was anything.
No, I didn't want Collins. It's just seeing these teams just
Right.
like there's a fire sale going on, and you come back with a pair of socks, or you come back with nothing, and you look at your neighbor, and they got 4 bags. you come in and you didn't get nothing.
Right.
We signed. They all these moves are going on right here under our nose. We signed Trevor Keels. We extend Deuce. I'm like, listen, man. Listen. Let's wait and see. I'm sure something's coming. We just being impatient. We just can't wait to see what it is. That's all.
Amen.
Yeah. I mean, what, tomorrow 6:00?
Mm-hmm.
Tomorrow 6:00. We shall see. All right, let's move on. Now, this is just a favorite of mine. Herb Jones, who's they list him as a power forward, but I believe he can play small forward for New Orleans. They did not pick up, I think it was a rookie option, right? It was a $1.8 million option. They didn't pick it up. So he's a free agent. He played 66 games for them last year, 66 of them as a starter. I believe that's because Zion was hurt most of the year. Just 9.8 points. So basically 10 points, 4 rebounds, 2.5 assists, 1.6 steals, shot 46.9% from the field, 33.5% from the three-point line, 76.4% from the free throw line. I don't think there was a lot of shots to go around with Ingram and Murphy and McCollum, but he's, to me, just an all-around guy. He's just an all-around guy. He's going to give you some points. He's going to rebound, 2.5 assists, 1.6 steals, and you could put him on your best power forward. You might even be able to put him on a 3. I think you could put him on a 3.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I really like this kid, and if it was up to me, he only made $1.8 million, so I don't think you have to use the entire mid-level exception on him. But if it came to that, I wouldn't hesitate. I feel like this is the type of defensive do-it-all guy that you want, in your rotation. And, Obi may be moving on, so that he can get, more minutes. Herb Jones, as I always said, behind Randall, I would love a guy. He's not a good 3-point shooter, only 33.5%, but I would love a guy that could defend and rebound and get deflections and do the dirty work in those 14, 15 minutes behind Randall. And I think he can also play behind RJ. Any thoughts on Herb Jones? Are any of you familiar with him at all?
Yes, I'm familiar with him, and he is probably my number 1 young guy to get. Like, I really like Herb Jones. He could play the 3 and the 4. Very, very good defender. He might end up being, like, if he did start for us and play starter minutes, I would say that he might be our best defender on the team. Like, he's very, very versatile. Kind of in the same vein as like Finney Smith, where he was with the Mavericks in Brooklyn. Kind of that same mode, about 6'7", 6'8", long, around 200 pounds. He can do a lot, man. I think we should go after him. Like, he's my dude to go after. If we're just gonna go for somebody cheap and young.
Right. And I like him over DiVincenzo.
Yes, definitely.
But Gerard Charlotte, if I'm not mistaken, I think he's unrestricted. If I'm not mistaken, they didn't pick up his option. Did I read that wrong?
I thought I read it like you did. I thought he was a free agent. I thought they basically waived him.
Yeah, I think they waived him. I don't think they picked up the option. And I was like, boing.
Yep.
Like, I hope the Knicks are all on that. But see, this is the thing with the Knicks. They're into relationships. So if they got their eye on a guy, and this is just my opinion, I don't see them shifting. Like, they had their eye on Brunson, Murray became available, they didn't shift. If they got their eye on DiVincenzo for this mid-level exception, I don't know if they shift for Herb Jones. But that guy,
Chamber's a better fit. I mean,
he's 6'8". That's the guy you want in that second unit. And Gerard said, but that's
talking about that second unit.
Yeah.
You keep talking about that second unit. Listen, See, Jones the type dude, he come from out of, I'm watching him when he was at Alabama.
Mhm.
He about his business. Jones the type dude when he get in practice and RJ, that's your spot. I'm on you. He get in your grill. You know what I'm saying? And we need those type guys that's going to work hard in practice and try to take these dudes' spots. And hopefully they'll get it, because if you don't get it, it's somebody that'll take your spot. See, we don't have enough guys on this team that can take somebody's spot. You know what I mean? We just got guys that's just there to be in place when you come out. You know what I'm saying? I want back in the day shirts and skins. You got to get it. You got to start out with skins before you get a jersey. You know what I mean? That's what I want. But yeah, Herb Jones, man, I like this guy, man. You know what I'm saying? He's a 3-and-D type guy. You know, like you said, 6'7", 6'8". You know, shoots like 47, 48% from the field. He finished at the basket. I think it's like 34%, something like that, from the tray, something like that. That can have work on it. But you know what I'm saying? Everybody ain't got to be able to get buckets when he's going to do other things that he's going to be able to do other things on his team that we do not have players in position to do. And he's bigger, getting away from all the 6'4", 6'5". I think he went back and forth playing the 2 and the 3, him and Murphy. I think Murphy might have played more of the 3, because I know Ingram was playing the power forward once Zion was out. But he was mainly checking the best perimeter guy, and he's not scared. So, yeah, a guy like that, you know what I'm saying? We need guys like that, you know what I'm saying? I'm looking at Prince, that dude, Teron Prince from Minnesota. You know, we need them long, athletic guys. Can't forget what Prince did to us in this building. We need them long, tall bodies, you know what I'm saying, that can extend, you know what I'm saying, the court. You know, make the length cover up the court more than the court covering up the length. The basketball court covering up too much of our length because we got short guys and short wingspans and all that. We need to start covering up this basketball court if they're serious about what they're trying to do.
Right.
And
So
Tiz would love him.
He is restricted. So they
Forget it then.
they
just
find
match.
his option so that they can bring him back on a longer deal. So he's a restricted free agent. So they can still bring him back if he may. And we don't have. So I misread that. When I saw that they declined his option, I just automatically assumed he was unrestricted, which I was hoping the Knicks would have been all over that. But if he's restricted, then yeah, now it has to be a sign and trade.
Right.
I would still be all over it though.
Me too.
I would still call them for a sign and trade. And you know, I don't know. Do you think I don't know if he would beat RJ out. But you know what? Some of it is, you know, if you weren't looking at RJ as a number 3 pick, and you weren't looking at, you know, the contract he had, and you just put those two guys in the gym in training camp going at each other and let the best guy start, I think he would have a shot.
Mm-hmm.
I think he would have a shot.
Yep.
Keyshawn said we got a better chance at getting Trey Murphy. I like Trey Murphy even better.
I'm about to say, like, the reason we don't talk about Trey Murphy because we have no chance to get him. They're not giving up him.
Right. Keith Turner. Yeah.
That guy, if Ingram gets mission, they like that dude. They like Murphy down there. Whole lot.
But listen, at the end of the day, Zion is on a max. Ingram is on a max. You got to sign Murphy. You're going to sign Herb Jones. Maybe they get rid of McCollum. Something is going to have to give at some point over in New Orleans. And I just want the Knicks to be standing outside waiting for the drippings. You know what I mean? For whatever shake loose, you know? Other than
it's Frank White for real. The real king of New York. I ain't talking about Biggie, may he rest in heaven, but it's for real. If a nickel bag gets sold in the park, I want in. You can't really do nothing in the East without the Knicks being involved because we got the most ammunition right now. We got the most draft picks. We got the most movable contracts. You can't do nothing without involving us. So, yeah, more rumors and more say-sos are going to be said and mentioned, you know what I'm saying, towards the Knicks. I think you only probably got OKC, maybe San Antonio with all this extra, you know, picks and all this stuff. Now we got them picks and we got them movable contracts. You know what I'm saying? This is our turn in our time. We ain't had no draft picks in the draft. That's all. The draft is over with. You got what you got. You gonna play with what you got. But we in position to make our roster better. Let's go, Leon. Stop playing, man.
Stop sleeping.
Stop sleeping.
Keith Turner, the comment before that, Keith Turner, I guess, is saying we don't have anybody that moved the needle. I disagree with that because, in my opinion, Jalen Brunson did move the needle.
Other than Jalen, though, like when we start talking about
somebody,
right? But I think, and Keith Turner, correct me if I'm wrong. I think what he's trying to say, every time we talk about improving his team, every time we point to a player, oh, he don't move the needle. Oh, he don't move the needle. Oh, who do we have on the team besides Jalen Brunson that's really moving the needle? I guess is what he's saying.
It's a good point, though.
He's turning it other than Brunson.
Other than Brunson. Okay.
The CBA. That's what we got on our team. Collective bargain agreement.
Yo, Keith Turner, you don't think Juju moved the needle? Julius Randle?
I think
all NBA team, 2-time All-Star. He moved, even if just a little bit. He moved the needle.
Julius Randle definitely moves the needle.
Yeah, he moves the needle.
We got guys that move the needle.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we need to move it a little more.
A little more, yeah.
Oh, we need one more guy to move the needle.
Every year, then you're gonna have to look at these guys. Look at these teams. Like Boston is like, oh man, do we got enough with Marcus Smart? Should we run this team back? Now I think we got to go after KP, but you got to give up Marcus Smart. You got to make the tough decisions.
Right.
You got to make the tough decisions, and the Knicks got some tough decisions ahead of them. Somebody said, "Why are we trying to give up RJ?" I'm not trying to give up RJ, but this is me with RJ. I love RJ's moxie. I love his toughness, including his mental toughness as well. I'm just not. I don't have a lot of confidence in his jump shot. I don't have a lot of confidence in his defense, and I don't have a lot of confidence in his ability to create shots. And I just think if you're playing a small forward position, as heady as he is, as mentally tough as he is, and mentally tough, he go 0 for 10 and still hit a big shot in the fourth. He craps out in the regular season and then goes into the playoffs and plays very well. I like that about him. But I don't have a lot of confidence in his skill set. And I just don't think his shooting is going to get better. It very well may, and I hope it does. He came out of Duke, is not a great shooter. He's been in the league 4 years now. It's not a great, when is it coming? And I just feel at that small forward position, you got to be able to shoot the basketball. So that's my thing with RJ Barrett, which is why I say we need to upgrade at that position. But I'm not super down on him. I'm just not super high on him. That's all. All right. I don't know if Stafford is coming back, but let's talk about this for a little bit. So Mo Bamba was waived by the Lakers. Would you change one of our centers, Mitch or Hart, or neither one, for Mo Bamba? Now, this is his career stats. He played in Orlando, then last year with the Lakers, 275 games, 82 as a starter, averaged 18 minutes, 7.5 points, 6 rebounds, 0.9 assists, 0.4 steal. Oh, I forgot his blocks. Can somebody look that up for me? 47 per game for his career. Yes.
1.3.
1.3 blocks per game. 47.6% from the field, 35.9% from three-point line for his career, which is, I believe, above average for centers. Even though this is his career, and I think 35% was average for centers last season, and just 68% from the free throw line. Doesn't necessarily have to be for Mitch, but would you add him to our center core over either Mitch or Hartenstein?
I wouldn't. And the main reason I wouldn't is availability. He doesn't play a lot of games. I mean, you look at, I think he played more than half a season once in his career so far. And I think that season he played in like 70 games.
Mitch only played in 79. He played in 70?
No, he has
once in
once.
1 year. He played.
Okay, gotcha.
He's played less than 50 in almost every season,
except for 2.
So
less than 50 except for 2.
Okay. Except for 2, that's all.
So, which is, that's like you're talking about half the season, Number one ability is availability. Mo Bamba is very talented. I love his ability to stretch the floor. I understand that. I think he's a good rim protector. But Isaiah Hartenstein, did he even miss a game? He may not be able to shoot the 3 like that, but his playmaking ability is there even if we don't use it. And I like what Hartenstein brings to the table. I'm not anti-Mo Bamba. I actually love this kid coming out of the draft. I thought he was going to be amazing. Really, he just popped, but his health has just not been there. And to me, I don't see the point on spending money on a guy that at a position that's not. In other words, center is a position of need, but Bamba's not the guy that would fix that. If you're talking about a Miles Turner, that's an upgrade. I don't view Bamba as an upgrade over either one of the guys that we're playing now. That's just my personal opinion.
So is it just the injury or is it more than the injury?
It's mostly the availability. I mean, he just doesn't play. I mean, when he's on the court, he does good things, but not like super amazing things either. I mean, 7 points and 5 rebounds in 18 minutes is,
Well, Mitch ain't that far off from that in 30, in close to 30 minutes. I mean, I think if the issue is availability, I understand that. But if he's healthy, I would think about it. If he's healthy, I would think about it, because if he's, whatever, if he's not a good picker, like he has the physical tools that you can teach him that. If there's concerns about his defense, concerns about his rim protection, concerns about where he's supposed to be. So if the issue is health, I get it. I definitely get it. But if the issue is not health, I would really think about it.
Yeah, I think that's it for me too, is the health part, availability. Because the 1 year that he did start and play most of the year, his points and rebounds was comparable to Mitch. But the thing is that games are different because he can shoot. So if we did want somebody like that, I could see him being a replacement for Mitch, but availability is key. Even though Mitchell Robinson, availability is kind of his hang up too, but he still plays more than Mo Bamba does. I do give him that.
So can we, I know he's a center. Can we play him as a power forward, or he's not capable of playing power forward?
I'm sure, but he's still 7 foot. He's a center.
Yeah.
I mean, you can play him at power forward just like you could play Isaiah Hartenstein at power forward.
Yeah,
at a pinch. But
if I could, I get him on cheap. I think he only makes like $10 million. I would throw him at the 4, see what he can do.
Okay.
I just don't understand. I don't even know who the Lakers bigs were this year. I don't know who they bigs were, and knowing that
Anthony Davis.
Yeah. So knowing that you do have a guy that has some type of athletic ability, and he's 7 foot, you're gonna need that guy. You're gonna see the Joker again. He's over there with you in the West. So why do you want to get rid of him? So, that's what I look at it. It's got to be other things going on with this guy where they just giving up on him. Maybe he don't have it, you know what I'm saying? And if he don't have it over there, he's not going to come over here and have it. You know, I need you to have a great work ethic when you come over here and play up under these high beam lights. You got to have that worker's mentality right here, right now. You know what I'm saying? I don't think he can have that up on the top. I just don't. And I'm I'm not changing. I'm not changing. Now one of my two bigs. You know what I'm saying? For him, I might not even change Sims for him. You know,
Nah,
Sims
come on.
don't even know how to play. This guy's supposed to know how to play. Coming from where he come from, big time name in New York, big time recruit, McDonald's. He's supposed to know how to play. But like the captain been saying, yo, he hasn't been on that court. If you can't get on that court, you can't show me nothing, man.
Right. It might be. It might have been a cap casualty, but that fair enough.
I know the Lakers was looking into getting Brook Lopez. So as soon as that news came out, the Bamba news came out. So I think that's his replacement.
Yeah. How much does listen? Sims and McBride. I mean, I get it. I understand Nick family because I know we really attach to guys that that we draft, but I don't see a lot of upside in Sims actually. But maybe he surprises me. All right. Josh Hart opted into his $12.9 million contract and is expected to sign an extension. I mean, he can't sign that until August, I believe. Just your thoughts on that? I know some people were saying, oh, he did it for the team. Listen, get your money. Get your money. These organizations, unless you know for sure that they're gonna take care of you on the on the back end. But anyway, any thoughts about Josh Hart opting into his contract as opposed to becoming a free agent and possibly getting more money even from the Knicks?
Mm-hmm. I think Josh Hart wanted to be here, and I think they wanted Josh Hart here. We traded our number one pick for him, our first round pick, I should say. Yeah, I think he just wants an extension. I know he could have gotten paid more for another team, but he wanted to stay here. That's what I really think it is. I don't think it's some type of hometown discount, anything. I just think he wants to be here, and we'll extend him. By how much though, I have no idea what that contract is going to be. Is he going to get the full $80 million, or is he going to get more than that? That remains to be seen. But he's definitely going to get paid.
Right.
I think he did us a great favor. He understood the situation that's going on as far as getting his man and what needed to be done. He's showing that, what I'm saying, I want to be here. I'm loyal to the city. So Leon, you got to be loyal back to this guy. I don't know what you're going to give. Now, I don't heard different numbers. I don't heard anywhere from 70 to 80, but we know it can't go above that 80. We do know that. Hopefully it can come down closer towards that 70, if not 70. But Leon, you got to play fair ball with him because he did, a favor for the organization. You can't do him like you did Reggie Bullock. Reggie Bullock did a favor for the organization when he had that situation going on with his neck. He took a pay cut and he gave some money back so you could do some things. And then when he got right, you shipped him, you let him go. You know what I'm saying? So this guy did something for the organization, you know what I'm saying? You got to go back and show the man the appreciation and give him back the love because, them guys do get to talking and whispering about if you're doing them wrong amongst the league. So if he done something for us, go ahead and look out for him. Don't try nothing funny with him. The Queen will say up in August, his money is up, do it in. From now, you know what I'm saying? I want to see him working out, you know what I'm saying, with Donte. And not so much Brunson because he over there get ready to lead the world in what he got going on before he come back to lead this world. It's two different worlds, you know what I'm saying? The United States and the New York Knicks, even though they're in the same world, but that's two different worlds. But yeah, man. Thank you for doing what you did, Josh. From the point in time, appreciate you. When you got here, you turned up. You didn't let down. You know what I'm saying? You lifted the squad up in a different level, even though you had some, little, little collapses inside the playoffs. But that's understandable. That was the first time he's ever been in the playoff. So now you know that he's going to be better. He's the type of guy that can pick up and understand his wrongs and his, what he need to correct as far as being in the playoffs. So I don't doubt this guy. I know he's a hard worker, and he got more that he want to prove inside that number 3. Because if he don't prove it, John going to be like, yo, you need to take that off, man. You ain't brought a car from my dealership. You know I'm out here on Queens Boulevard. You come buy a car or something.
Oh, boy.
I actually think that Hart is a case of the CBA working in the Knicks' favor, because now with the new CBA, with his extension, he can opt in and extend, and he gets a raises of up to 140% of his current salary. And I think under the old CBA, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think they could go above 120%. And so
right.
I think the idea is that they're gonna, whatever that number is, and I apologize, I should have come prepared and had that number. I don't know why I didn't, but whatever that 140% is for the maximum number of years is the contract that Josh Hart is going to get for opting in. That's how that agreement went. I would wager money on it if I had it.
Right. That they're not gonna he'll probably get the max. Yeah. I like Josh Hart. 20 million though. I mean, it is what it is. But a lot of Knicks fans are beefing over giving Quickly $100 million contract, whether that's over 4 or 5 years. Some people on Twitter was for it, others weren't. They had memes of people closing the door and keep it moving. And then there was some who said, listen, you're going to give 20 million to Hart and then 20 or 25 million to IQ. What does that do for us under the CBA? And if you had to choose one, why would you choose Josh Hart over IQ? So let's talk about let's talk about both of them together. Thoughts on IQ wanting at least $100 million. Would you give that to him over 4? He's eligible for 5 years. So would you give that to him over 4 or even 5 years? 4 years would be $25 million. 5 years would be $20 million a year. And what do you think the Knicks are? What do you think the Knicks are with Quickly? And where are you with Quickly? Let's start the other way around. Ajay, Boogie, Jeff, Jarrell.
I like Emmanuel Quickly. You know that. I'm emotional, just like every fan. We drafted him at 25, and he turned out to be like a real hot commodity in this league, right? I would give him $100 million. Now, I mean, would it be 20 or 25? So would it be over 4 years or 5 years? I mean, obviously, when you go to the negotiating table, you tell them 20 million for 5 years, and let's see what he takes. I think that would be a fair price for him, 20 million for 5 years, because he's young enough that after 5 years, he could, he's on a good trajectory. Emmanuel Quickly, probably after 5 years, he could probably command a max at that point. Which in 5 years, you don't know what that max money could be like. It could be something insane. I don't think it would be a bad situation. I don't think it's too much money. He contributes a lot to this team, and he's been getting better every year. So I think that would be a good investment to Emmanuel Quickly. Probably 20 million a year, so 100 over 5 years. I think that would be a good investment, and yes, I would do it.
I just think decisions need to be made, and I'm just curious with the Knicks. 20 million for Hart, 20 million for I like Hart. I guess if I had to choose, I would have chose Quick if I had to choose. But it's just hard to see me paying both of those guys, then turn around paying Grimes and then upgrading the roster as well.
If
But,
if I had to choose two, I would choose IQ over Hart, and I like Josh Hart.
I love Josh Hart. Yeah.
So,
Boogie.
Be honest with you, if it's Josh Hart, I'm giving him 17 mil. If it's quickly, I'm giving him 17. I ain't giving him no more than 18. I'm not giving him no more than 20. That's just me. Because you're still a tweener. You're still a tweener. You still not a point guard. So you still a tweener, whereas you really need to be on the wing catching and shooting. You just really a jump shot shooter. You know what I'm saying? You can't make other people around you better, you know, and I hate to say that because I rocks with IQ. The first year he came in, I was everywhere yelling, give him them keys. You know what I'm saying? But I got to look at the times between then and look at the time now. When he came in, he was supposed to snatch them spots. He was supposed to get that playing time. We had some trash up here playing in the backcourt. So I could have walked up in there and got some playing time. But now you got different you got different level type ball players that's here on this roster, and that what they're trying to bring in, what they're doing is different, you know, right here, right now for IQ. But I just can't see I'm not giving up no 40 mil coming off the bench. That's
what I'm saying.
I'm not doing that. I'm trying to keep I'm trying to keep everything open, whereas you got to know and understand that, you know, if you don't know it, he might need to go in there and tell me, this is Jalen's team. So whatever I'm going to try to do, you got to be able to fit inside the program, because I'm swinging now for whatever to see if we can have a possibility to get to the Eastern Conference Finals, you know what I'm saying, within the next year or so. And because the contract that he's on. So I'm not doing anything that's going to interfere with that money when that 25 come and Brunson be like, yo, you know what time it is. I already did you the favor. You know what I'm saying? So all these guys get 100 mil, 5 years and all that. Nah, you going into the future. Nah. And I don't think IQ game can get any better. That's just me. And I just don't think I don't think he can improve more on his shooting. Maybe he'll make more shots. I don't think he can get no bigger where he get more rebounds. I don't think he's going to get more assists because he's not really a point guard. And then, listen, the midgets, Denver already don't set the tone and like, yo, I got these big bodies. That's why they really punished a lot of people, like the Lakers. We big down here. Like Phoenix, we big down here. They big around there. So we got to get bigger, man. But I just don't see IQ game getting more better. I see him maybe getting more experience, you know what I'm saying? But somebody else said it to me. I think somebody said it on the show. I can't remember where I heard it. I think I heard it on the show before the show started. Yo, dude might bust quickly in that building one-on-one. Donte, he might just bust him one-on-one. Let me see about you. So I'm not giving these dudes that money. I'm not.
Yeah, but we give RJ Barrett. RJ Barrett's making on average $25 million a year. Is he more valuable to the team than Emmanuel Quickly?
Nah, that's where Leon made the mistake. That's why he's looking to make him, you know what I'm saying, let me see you next year. He's not giving him this money. He did that with RJ. He gave RJ that money before it was time, before RJ was proven. And it almost smashed us. Leon not doing that no more. Nah, not for somebody that's still borderline. Leon ain't doing that no more. That's why he said, yo, we're going to wait the next year. Oh, hold up. Let me see.
Yeah, and the thing with Quick, if they decide they can let him go to restricted free agency, but if they wanted to, I think they could get value for him at the trade deadline if they felt like by that time that they knew they weren't going to re-sign him. The only thing with that is he would be, wherever we are at that time, he would be a big part of it. And so trading him in the middle of the season could disrupt, what we're doing. But I don't think they they sign him to an extension, I do think he's going to restricted free agency. Jeff?
Oh, Emmanuel quickly. I have such a hard time with this player.
Keith ain't nobody a starter. RJ ain't a starter. Grimes ain't a starter.
I really have trouble because all the on-off, every pairing on-off stats, and I know that's not the be-all, end-all, but he is a positive with every lineup that he's in. And so it scares me to when you take away a player that has that positive impact, you know, and those advanced metric impacts, even if he's not the best shooter and the best playmaker, but he is a great defender, especially for his size. I think he's an amazing defender. I think he's a high, pun intended, a high IQ player. And so that part of it resonates with me. I like IQ as a ball player. He's fun to watch. I think he contributes to winning in a meaningful and impactful way. But the plain fact of the matter is we can't pay everybody. We just can't. I mean, we get attached to these players as fans for sure, but the truth of the matter is we can't pay everybody. And I think IQ and Obi are two of the everybody's that we're not going to pay, if I had to guess. And I don't have any sources or anything, so that's a complete guess. With the caveat that RJ could potentially be that guy, and if they send RJ out, I could see them keeping IQ. But I think IQ being runner-up for Sixth Man of the Year, I think he's a valuable trade chip. You just better get something really good for him, because when he's one of those players that once he's out of the lineup, then you're like, man, I sure wish we had a guy like that. And when you did such a great job, that's why you're the hostess with the mostest. But to frame it as a choice really between Hart and Quickly is not something that I don't know why, but it wasn't something that I really considered a whole lot. But it's tough because they're both good players and they both are winners. I mean, Hart won his game one with that three-pointer at the end. I mean, they may not be a three-point shooter, but you can argue that was the play of the Cleveland series. I mean, right. That was a dagger right there. So he came up big, and then you have Quickly, who I think had a better regular season than Hart, at least overall. Maybe not Hart when he got to the Knicks, shot unbelievable from three. So I like 50-something%, I think. So that's a little bit. I don't think that's sustainable. That's my point. But right. But as far as playoff performance, Hart was better than Quickly by a long shot, and so Quickly is younger than Hart, though. So you have this dichotomy. You have this. I mean, it's really tough because again, you can't keep everybody, but at the same time, if you had to deal one of them, I think you could get more for Quickly because I think people still think he could be a starter. He thinks he could be a starter. And I think there are teams out there, Toronto being one, Houston maybe being another, probably a couple others, who would be willing to give him, maybe even Dallas, who would be willing to give him the keys and let him work. And he's shown when he starts, he puts up big numbers.
Right.
Just true. So I have a tough time with it. That's a really good question, though.
Yeah, and the thing with Quick is, if this roster was a bit more balanced, the decision would probably be different. And if Quickly played the three position, this decision would be different. But you got to think about you paying $100 million plus to a guy who plays the point guard position, but we already have a point guard. Oh, okay, well, he could play the shooting guard position. Are you playing him next? Do you feel comfortable starting him next to Brunson? If you do, then, you can justify, paying a starting shooting guard, that money. And I don't think that's something we've ever talked about here, starting IQ with Brunson. But the thing about it is, if you say no, I don't think that's a good, backcourt are you paying that to a 6-man in this current CBA climate when you need to upgrade some other position? So I just think a lot of it is not just quickly in a vacuum, because when you look at his stats, to your point of his on-off stats, whatever advanced metrics you want to look at, the Knicks are better with IQ. But we're not looking at it in a vacuum. We're looking at it in terms of position. We're looking at it in terms of what we need. We're looking at it in terms of, can we get a starting small forward? Or can we get all right, calm down, Chad. Why we keep trying to give away RJ? Can you get a backup small forward? Can you upgrade the roster in using quickly and a few of our pieces, to balance out this roster? And I think you can. Go ahead, Jarrell.
I didn't really have that much to say because you're asking, are we paying Josh Hart or quickly, or paying both?
Either one. Just your thoughts on playing quickly $100 million, and if you had to choose, which one would you give the money to? Oh, let me read this super chat. No, let me. Yeah, because I might. Let me read it.
You good?
Paris Doug, I appreciate it. And get me some. I don't know what I'm gonna get with this $5, but I appreciate it. Do you know the dream? Do you know the dream of winning 2 college championships and being able to be pros together? Why the confusion? Brunson is getting his band back to win. Yeah, I mean, I just think you got to send guys out if you're gonna do that. I just think
everybody will be moving and grooving. We'll be doing it on the floor.
Yeah, but Queen, I know the fans, they get upset whenever you mention RJ, but we have to be honest. RJ was the weak link this past season. I don't care how you look at it.
Corey Lee gonna be rolling in here in a minute.
It's all right, Corey Lee. I mean, RJ Barrett, I think we went through those stats already. He's the only guy who, when he was on the floor, the Knicks was a net negative. He's the only guy. So, you have to look at it for what it is. We're not saying RJ is not good or he's not going to be good or he's not. Listen, and I think I want to show, I told you, listen, there's nothing that says RJ cannot be all-star one day. But right now, he's not good for this team. And he was the weak link on this team. Okay, so you have to look at it for what it is.
Yeah.
Hey, Queen, I'm going to speak out to somebody real quick.
Yes, absolutely.
To Mr. Vincent Jackson, I'm going to take them tomatoes that you threw out there, because I made the comment when you comment, you wonder how Leon Rose did Bullet wrong. My thing is, when you're building a culture, you got to make sure all the players will be able to walk away from here and be able to speak highly of you. And when I mentioned about how he had the neck surgery and what was going on with his neck, he was up under a bigger contract. And then he went into the office, he conversated with them and gave money back to the office. So when he gave money back to the office, you know what I'm saying, and then got healthy and strong, and then became, which was our best player's best friend on the team and our best wing defensive player on the team, you shipped him up out of here after 1 year playing in Atlanta. And that not only, you know what I'm saying, done wrong for, I thought, for the culture, but did for Reggie. And it also put RJ in a position where he had to change his body form and his whole complete how he would have went about his game that all season, because they let him know he was going to be the new small forward. So, I take them tomatoes. I'm married to get hit with a tomato. I can get hit with one too, but I just wanted to reach back out to Mr. Jackson and let him know. That's why I felt like he did him wrong, because anytime when somebody does something for the organization.
I should have kept him in the back. Sorry about that.
Yeah, I think J Book froze.
Yeah.
I'm unfrozen now. Yeah, just so guys don't move off and go somewhere else and be like, man, that organization's still the same. They don't care about their players, you know what I'm saying? When we changing over our culture, and they have been doing pretty good in the office. I just,
All right, Boogie will be back.
Well, Sherwin, I got glasses, like another pair on top of my pair.
You don't see that you got glasses on?
Yeah.
He might need the glasses. You got glasses on, bro. Me too.
Ricardo said, bottom line, guys, you are only going to have 3 max plays and the rest $10 to $15 million play. I was thinking maybe 2. But if you could get 3, but that's what
Right.
I was thinking the same thing, Ricardo. And I want to go over, I want to just plug in a few players that the Knicks have been targeting just to see what a roster would look like above the first apron, below the second apron. Can you get a championship roster? I'm pretty sure you can, but what would it look like? So this is what I'm thinking. I'm like, yo, we're gonna have 2 max players in 2 years. You got Josh Hart on 20 million, you got RJ on 20 million, you got, and I'm like, how are we going to make this work? But I think I'm just going to pull out a piece of paper, and work it out and just see. But I agree with you. I think that it's going to be top heavy, and then the rest of those guys are going to be 15 million.
Did you see Kyrie say he wanted to go talk to Phoenix?
Yes.
Mark shut that down. What, you gonna get $3 million?
Yeah, how you gonna do that? We'll see.
Right.
But yeah, I'm not paying anybody off our bench $100 million. Or even if it's like a not $100 million, $20 million a year, like 3 for $60. I ain't doing that. Like that needs to go to a starter. We need to upgrade our starters. Like Ajay already said, we need to upgrade three spots out of 5. So how we gonna give somebody $20 million and possibly to come off the bench? Nah, we can't do that. And I don't mind IQ, but he's just not getting that.
Right. Knicks 100 a GM. This is $1 billion business, not a family cookout.
See, I would dispute that because, like I said before, the Knicks specialize in relationship rosters. It is a family cookout for them. It's a little bit of both. Relationships matter to them.
Yeah. No doubt about it. Anything up? But if you had to, Jarrell, quick or
if I had to choose, sorry to cut you off. If I had to choose, I'll definitely pick Josh Hart because I think he will be cheaper. Since IQ is if he is going to demand $100 million, and Josh Hart does a lot for this team, we can get somebody else to score the basketball. And maybe if he wasn't a tweener, say if he was a pure point guard, maybe I'll give IQ a little bit more than that, maybe like around 18.
Mm-hmm.
But since he is a tweener, he's streaky as well. I'm not giving him 18. I'm not giving him 18 either. Like the max.
And remember, just because he wants $100 million doesn't mean he gets $100 million.
Right.
You know?
I can see him being like a Mitch deal. Like Mitch got what, 15 a year on a descending contract, so maybe 16 or 17, and then a descending contract for like 3 or 4 years. But other than that, nah, I'm not paying IQ that.
You can tell IQ, we were gonna give you that, but after those playoffs, after the way you perform,
right?
Let's do 80 million.
Yeah, Clavins, DeRoss or DeRossi. Look at Levine.
Yeah, those are bad deals that we don't want, though.
Right, and that was under the old, CBA. But I think those guys, I don't know. Like now, I was talking to Freezy earlier. Well, we had the show earlier today. He said now when you signing these guys to max contracts, they better be max talent. So in today's CBA, would you sign Beal to a max? Would you sign Cat to a max? Would you sign Levine to a max? Are these max talents?
Nope.
Because if they're not max guys and you're signing them to max contracts, then you need more because they're not it. You need more. And you're not going to really have it because it's tied up in them.
Queen, I don't know. Does that make the league more competitive or?
I think it makes the league definitely more competitive because you don't have those teams with the money that can pay the tax, continually going over, continually upgrading their teams, and small market teams can't keep up. Now, when you basically have a hard cap, I think the league will be more competitive. Shout out to Diva 21. Appreciate you. Yeah, RJ went game 6. She related to Ajay. Yeah, I know what you did for most of the
I didn't
playoffs,
see.
but in
Right.
game 6,
What was it?
he was 1 for 10.
Yep.
Oh, you didn't see it?
No.
Diva 21. Shout out to her. I met her and her daughter at the draft party.
Yeah, the crazy thing is RJ was 1 for 10, but everybody hated Julius Randle for being 3 for 12 or 3 for 14, but they forgot RJ was 1 for 10. Nobody said anything about that.
If Hart gets 10 points, listen, people are I've never seen a fan base turn on a dime as quickly as they turned on Josh Hart after that Miami series. Yep. He was lights out for us when he came here. We went 17-8. The Knicks were a 500 team when we traded for Josh Hart. Go back and check. We were just a 500 team when we traded for Josh Hart. Then we went 17-8. I think we won 8 straight. And you can argue, we would have went on that run anyway. I don't believe it. Then in the Cleveland series, when IQ and Grimes, who we was counting on, just basically evaporated, he came up huge for us in that in that series. And now he didn't play well in Miami. Oh, he got exposed. He the same player he was before. Would I pay him $20 million? No. But I like Josh Hart. I really, really like Josh Hart. And cut the man some slack from Miami. He was waiting for his babies to be born at any moment. Yeah. And that was his first time in the playoffs as well. This guy he's tough. He's tough. Let us play Miami now. I think you're gonna get a different Josh Hart for sure.
I love Josh Hart. I'm just not giving him 20. That's all.
Yeah. No. Yeah. I'm with you. I'm with you on that. Definitely. I'm with you. Right. Freezy almost had a seizure when we was talking about Josh Hart this morning. This afternoon, I should say. Yeah. All right. Last question, then I'll open it up. Anybody in the chat have a question that you would like us to discuss? Anyone on the panel have a question that you would like us to discuss? The last thing, is this the summer we trade Obi Toppin, or the Knicks trade Obi Toppin, or do you keep him for one more year behind Julius Randle? And do you think we'll regret trading him if we do? It's almost like 3 questions.
Okay, I'll go first. Are we going to trade Obi Toppin? I think Obi and IQ might get traded. Hopefully for an upgrade at the positions Ajay talked about earlier in the show. So I do think we're going to trade Obi, but it might be unfortunately though. Like he wasn't, he was forced in this position. He's not going to beat out Julius Randle. I don't see him getting more minutes because I don't see Julius Randle playing less. And since Obi is not versatile enough to play the 3 or the 5, I think he should be out of here. I think we need to get somebody else. It's not because of him though. Like I don't dislike Obi. Mm-hmm. I think he is getting better. But yeah, I think he just doesn't fit the team. Like he's just a square peg and going into a round hole at this point. So unfortunately, I think we are going to get rid of Obi. Signing his brother definitely did not make any sense though, if we did do that. So I could be completely wrong signing Jacob, but yeah, like it seemed like the writing's on the wall for Obi. Like I think he's going to leave.
Okay. Anybody else want to weigh in?
I have a hard time believing Obi's going to stay. I mean, he just doesn't fit really well with with what we have. But at the same time, Leon Rose drafted him, so there, he's always talking about the barbecue or the relationship roster. Well, Obi's part of that relationship. I mean,
Yep.
that Worldwide West was a big fan of Toppin, and so he has fans within the organization. But if I think honestly, they married Julius Randle. They're married to Julius Randle, and Obi doesn't fit. And for his sake and the team's sake, I mean, I think we need someone with more versatility that can back up the 3 and the 4 spot. To be honest with you, and
Yes.
and I don't know that we're gonna regret it, because I don't think that even if he does go somewhere else and bloom and become a star, I don't think he was ever going to be that here, just because of what his skill set is. Not that it's a bad. I could definitely see him going places where he could succeed. Indiana seemed like a natural fit. I think him with Halliburton and those Gazelles would be good. I think it'd be interesting to see him as a Warrior. I think Golden State might be a good fit for him. Sacramento, I know they have eyes on bigger fish, but I think he would play well in that system, because they love to run and gun. But yeah, I just don't think it's in the cards here for Obi. And I wasn't really part of the community on draft night, but when we took him, but that's at the time, that was the problem with the pick that I had. I wanted Halliburton, but I'm actually glad we didn't get Halliburton, because I'd rather have Brunson. And if we had gotten Halliburton as our point guard, we wouldn't have Brunson. So it all worked out for good.
Yeah. Though those two guys could play together, but you're right.
I was about to say that.
They could play together, but I
would
wonder
both.
if the Knicks would have gone in that direction. That's a good point. Anybody else want to weigh in on Obi, if you think he's going to get traded this summer? And do you think we'll regret it?
Obi is the one story in New York that I would have liked to see work out. Coming from being college player of the year, doing what he was doing in college, knowing what he was going to do to the NCAA tournament, if you know what I'm saying, if it wasn't for the pandemic and everything, coming here, that with him falling to us at that spot, knowing we needed a point guard, I somewhat understood that story, especially with Julius coming off that season, but you didn't move Julius. And the following year, Julius regrouped. With him being here and you're choosing Julius, I mean, everybody know that he's not nowhere near on Julius Randle's level as far as his game, especially with Julius coming up out of this Paul George podcast saying he's used to playing with people that's better than him. It sounds like he's willing to slide down to be the third option. And Obi's not just on that level. I was thinking if we was going to move him during the draft, we should have moved him then. But then it makes me wonder, I mean, does he have any stock? Did they try to move him? I don't know, but I think you're going to have to move Obi, especially if he comes into camp and shows that he's not willing and he's incapable of even playing at the 3. You just can't continue to have him and Julius, being the 4 guys. You know what I'm saying? So, it'll work out better for Obi if you give him a chance to restart his career somewhere else. You know what I'm saying? And not drag him along, which when Tom and the office, they don't make their pick as far as riding with Julius, at least up until this point. And I know you ain't trying to continue on holding him on for 2 years when Julius becomes a free agent, then you let him go. That won't even work. But I hate that's one story I wish that would have worked out right, but it didn't work out right. And ain't no need to hold that guy along no more. Let him move on, move him to some type of package deal, whatever you can do to give him a fresh start. That's going to rejuvenate him probably more than anything, than him walking in here and knowing that, it's going to be the same as the last couple of years since he's been here.
Yeah.
Queen. So right now, 2 things happening with Obi, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right now, he's in the gym. He's working out.
I saw that.
He's
Was it in
he's
slow motion? Because I was like, I hope this is slow motion.
he's learned he's learning how to be a 3, right? That's the first thing. Second thing, Julius Randle just had surgery, so his minutes are going to be reduced, and Obi's going to be his backup 4. All right, so Obi's going to be fine. He's going to be right here.
Okay.
That's me wishful thinking, Queen. Come on, that's me.
I just say that surgery could be long gone. Randall will play 38 minutes next year.
He might be a little rusty, but he'll play his way.
Yeah.
No, but in all seriousness, Obi
gotta play in shape.
For Obi's sake, he should probably get out of here. Like, he's got to get his career going, and that's not going to happen here. As long as I won't even say as long as he's playing behind Julius Randle, I'm gonna say as long as Thibodeau's here, he's not getting anywhere. So him and his people, they got to find a way to get him out of here.
Yeah, I do think this is the summer he gets traded. But like I said before, I don't think it's a conspiracy theory. I don't think it's that, Tibbs was against him. I don't think he didn't get a fair opportunity. I just think it was bad timing. That's it. You got an all NBA all-star. People like, oh, you can't cut down your all-star all NBA players' minutes. You just can't do it. And you can't have it where, well, if you're playing well, you come back in. But if somebody else is playing better, they're gonna stay in. You don't do that either. You always give your top guys the benefit of the doubt that even if they're not shooting well, that at any point in time they can turn it around. So you don't want to have those guys on the bench like, oh man, I got to shoot well, because if I don't shoot well, I ain't gonna come in. Obi gonna come in. Like, I just feel like those guys have earned that to have bad games and still come in at their designated times. They've earned that. And I think a lot of times we approach the NBA like we approach college and high school and AAU, and it's just different. It's just different. So I've seen the growth in Obi Toppin's game. You can go back to his rookie year. I was killing Obi, killing him. And I ain't taking none of it back, because I just couldn't understand that this was the 8th pick in the draft, the way he played as a rookie. But I see his game has developed. Now I've seen flashes. Is that just flashing because he's not getting the minutes, or these staples of his game in terms of him putting the ball on the floor? I've seen him create a shot once or twice. Sometimes you can do something, once or twice, but you're not able for it to be a steady diet. I think that's one of the hardest things to do in the NBA. And I think that's something took quick years to get there. I don't even know if RJ Barrett is there, and that is to be consistent at what it is you do. Forget adding to your game. Whatever it is you do, are you consistent at that? Is that something we can count on game in and game out? That's the hardest thing to do. So those skills that Obi was flashing, can that be a steady part of his game? Somebody said in 30 minutes he averaged 28 points a game. Can you do that game in and game out? I can tell you right now, no. He ain't, with consistent minutes, he ain't averaging no 28 minutes a game. That ain't happening, the per 36 and and all of that. But I wish him the best, and I don't think he didn't get an opportunity. I just think it's that he just got caught up in the numbers game. And hopefully they move him out and bring in somebody that I think is more of a Tom Thibodeau guy, just rough and tough with an Afro puff. Now, just somebody, just somebody, that's gonna get on the boards and get deflections, get on the floor, bring a different type of energy, other than the energy of a dunk. That's cool too. But you can get that energy from a block shot as well. You can get that energy from somebody diving on the floor in a critical moment and getting a deflection. So we'll see what happens. I don't think we'll regret it, because Randall is just a better player right now. And even though Obi has played well in the minutes he's gotten, he hasn't done enough to make the Knicks, to push Randall out the door. Put it that way. Some players put pressure on that guy in front of him, be like, yo, He only playing 18 minutes a game, but he doing the business. I think, we might want to move the guy in front of him. I don't think I don't think he ever put that type of pressure on Randall. So I wish him the best. I hope this is the summer that he gets moved so he can go on about his business, creating that generational wealth for his family. Anybody else?
I taught the Delight, which is his dad, when we was down in Atlanta, you know what I'm saying? And I asked him, saying, well, how you feel and what you think about the situation, that's going on, he deserve more playing time, blah, blah, blah. And what he had told me, he said this offseason, we know what we're gonna work on this year. So I hope what y'all saying that he's working on the perimeter, playing at the 3. I hope that was part of what Delight was telling me, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Because that's going to be your opportunity. It's plenty of 6'8" guys, his size, his length, his weight size that play the 3. You know what I mean? So, sometimes you gotta go outside your game just to create another game so you can fit in because your other game wasn't working. Sometimes you have to do that, and if that's the only opportunity he's going to have. Because still today, right now, that 3 spot is open. But if that's not happening for us, man, yeah, go on, make the guy, let the guy go, send him somewhere where he can get some runs, some burn, you know what I'm saying, somewhere. And it was a lady in the chat earlier, her name started with an M, and don't get rid of him for a guard. And Queen just said, yeah, don't bring us somebody that just can dunk. Give us another big man that can do some other things.
Right.
Yeah. You can't give up a spot and go get other spots. We're starting to look pretty good, especially if we get Donte. Now we got Josh, we got Jalen Brunson, and whichever one of these 2 guys, Quick or Grimes, and then RJ at times can play the 2. We're pretty good, with backcourt type guys. We got to get some guys that, you know what I'm saying, some bigger guys that can do other things, but let them be athletic too.
Don't get rid of Obi for another 6'4" guy.
Right.
Herb Jones, Tayshaun Prince,
right.
Something, man.
Clavins DeRossi, 11 minutes a game it's not about seeing what he can do. It's not about seeing what he can do. It's a wrap. Randall is the better player. This situation, I don't understand, Knicks fans. We get so out of sorts. This has been going on throughout NBA history. 2 guys at the same position. You got to pick one. That's it. You got to pick one. The Knicks picked Randall. So now Obi has to move on. It's not about, he didn't get a chance. Listen, how many minutes do Deuce get? But you can kind of see what he bringing.
Sometimes seconds.
I mean,
and Obi played more than 11 minutes too. He played about 16, 17 minutes a game.
Right. But it's not a position battle.
Right.
This is not a position battle. Give them equal minutes and see who comes out on top. Randall is the better player. Even if you don't think Randall is the better player, the front office chose Randall. So if the front office chose Randall, now move off of Obi so he can get the opportunity to shine in a different environment. Because you can give him 35 minutes a game, he's still not going to be better than Randall, in my opinion. And that's just, that's just what it is. But that's all I have. If you guys have something, we could talk about that. Somebody had a question for us.
Yeah, somebody asked was
was it this one?
That was a good question though, but that's not the one I'm talking about.
Okay,
somebody asked. Well, we can go with this one too because I actually think that's a good point.
We can do both.
Okay.
Will Isaiah Roby get any minutes at the 4, or is he a throw-in for a trade? Well, I'm just gonna say I saw him with his shirt off. He looked like he could. No, I'm kidding. He looked like he could throw down. He looked like he could.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't seen Isaiah Roby play. Maybe I've seen him a game or 2 in passing. Anybody else familiar with him?
I mean, I am. Like, I remember when he played for the Thunder. like I think if we did trade Obi Toppin, like even if we did trade him for a guard or whatever, I think Isaiah Roby can just play those 16 minutes behind Randall, and we get the same kind of production.
Oh wow. Oh, okay. All right.
Like he's not like Isaiah Roby is no world beater, but he's a backup. He's a bench player. He could play the backup for it with 16 minutes. That's fine.
Maybe that's what they're gonna do. Maybe they're gonna trade Obi and they already have Isaiah Roby.
Right.
Maybe that's why they bring another 6'4" guy.
And he is a 16-minute guy, because the thing about it is you don't want to back up Randall with a 30-minute guy. There's just no minutes. There's just no minutes for him.
Right.
But he can do a lot inside those 16 minutes. He can catch and shoot. He can get to the basket. He can play D. He can rebound. You know, he can give you a lot. You know, it's not like, you know what I'm saying, I only got one or maybe two things that I can bring to the table, and then I'm shut down. You know, he got other parts of his game that, you know, he got a lot of things to his game. And I like to see him out here on the floor because I think I seen him playing OKC, and I was wondering what was going on when he got rid of him. But then I understood, you know, they got bigger, you know, name pieces coming in with all the draft picks and stuff they got. But that guy has a lot of potential, and I would like to see that work. That's a good question asking about him, because that's a sleeper. Because if he comes along, that's a good steal, Leon.
Yep.
Queen, can you highlight Knicks Nation 112?
Yeah, I did. But wait, Jarrell had a question. Did you highlight? Did you find it, Jarrell?
Yeah, somebody asked, how about Randall for Siakam?
Mr. Jackson.
If you nasty.
Yeah.
No, I'm not trading Randall for Siakam.
I don't think Toronto does it either, to be honest. I don't see Toronto wanting Randall in any capacity. Not that Randall's not a good player. Randall's probably a better player than Siakam, but I mean, Pascal plays hard on defense. I guess that's a big difference, but
yeah. And I don't know what his playoff, like I haven't watched Toronto consistently in the playoffs to comment on, because that would be a deciding factor for me, or part of my decision, I would say.
He has showed up,
played well in that championship run.
Yeah.
He was a big part of it. Pretty sure.
Yeah, he wasn't the guy though, because I think if Randall was in Siakam's role, he might be okay too. Right. On that championship team, he might be okay too. All right.
The likes have been stuck at 155 for the past 10 minutes, man. Let's get that thing up to 200. Yeah,
yes.
Yeah, there's over 200 people in the chat. Come on, hit the like button.
Yeah, it definitely helps the show.
Yeah.
You know, you guys know when you go to YouTube, it has the recommended videos for you. The more likes we get, the more engagement we get. They'll recommend the show to other people. So.
And it grows the family. It makes it more,
right, exactly,
more challenging, more interesting.
Yeah, no doubt. Knicks Nation 112. Okay, go ahead, Boogie.
Now I was just gonna say, anybody got any answer for that right there?
Okay, let me read it.
That's why I wanted to highlight that, man.
Yeah. All right, let me read it. Would you guys be up for a return of Kevin Knox, who can play at the 3 and 4, plus a cheaper contract than Obi now? And Knox would not be a threat to Randall or RJ, but the chemistry would be there already.
I thought Knicks Nation was trolling, but I think he's serious.
No.
No. say what, Jarrell?
No. Hell no. Nah, I'm not bringing anybody back.
Yeah, Kevin Knox might be out the league next season.
Him and Cam.
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm about to say, you really about to get tomatoes now. Start talking about Cam.
Yeah, I mean, the issue, Kevin Knox can definitely hit the 3, but I'm looking for a rough and tough.
Yeah, he doesn't fit either. Might as well keep Obi.
Yeah, they kind of similar, no? I mean, Kevin Knox may be a better defender. I don't know. I don't even know if that's the case.
Queen, Kevin Knox was doomed when he's playing his summer league, and Zion ripped the ball out of his hand after he grabbed the rebound. Zion just took the ball out of his hand and dunked it on him. I was like, oh man, this guy. I'm sure everybody remember that play, and he did it again in the regular season. I said, oh, this guy, he's unlucky with Zion.
Yeah, he ain't been the same since.
He ain't been the same ever since.
Well, the crazy part to answer this question, Obi is tougher, and that's saying something. I don't think either one of them is tough though.
Yeah. 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 Was there another question? I think Sherman is trolling. Who got more block shots last season, Brunson or Obi? It must have been Brunson. All right. I do have another question. Do you think we are overestimating how close the Knicks really are to championship contention because we made it to the second round, and we made it to the second round because of the favorable matchup with Cleveland?
Yes, we are. We are. Queen, listen. Yeah, no, it's a great question. When we didn't draft anybody, right? Remember, we kind of brushed up on that last one of those shows, and everybody's like, no, we good. We just need to do a little tweaking here, like a little. Listen, we're not close. We're not even. Look at Denver. Are we even close to that? We're nowhere near. That's the team that won it all. We're nowhere near that team. We're not close to a championship at all.
So are we agreeing, chat, with Fly God the third, aka C-Mac? Knicks are still a playing team. And Reggie Clark, aka Heavy, we got two AKAs, Heavy C, one play away. Playing, one play away. Playing, one. That's two different continents right there.
Well,
That's Knicks fans in a nutshell.
Right.
As long as we're not one player away from the play-in, I think we're pretty good.
I don't think long as Jalen Brunson is our point guard, we never going back to a play-in. That's just what I feel. He changes the whole dynamic of our whole organization. You know what I'm saying? Giving us a point guard that can handle his business on the court. He can, do everything on the court. He's not that great on defense and everything, but he will stand in front of you and get charges. You know what I'm saying? It's just his whole demeanor towards, this wanting to have his own team, it's going to continue on making his game grow and prosper. And other people are going to want to come play with him. And I say we're 2 players away. We're 2 players away from, fighting in the finals. But you also got to have some luck. And last year we had some luck, but the luck that we got, it came at the wrong time because we didn't have the players, to fill out what we needed to have done. But we have a vision right now, and we can, a couple of more players on this team, and the guys can continue on doing what they're doing, and with a little bit more luck this year, and some of these teams that's in front of us, they don't get better or they get weaker. Yeah, we're a problem, and I'm gonna stick with that. I'm gonna ride with that, and I want to see a couple of more changes because I believe us as the fans deserve to see the Knicks, swinging for a championship. At least getting it. Everybody talk about 50 years since we've won it. It's been 24 years since we even played in it. You know what I mean? So I want to see us get there. And them 10 games away from it, where we was at. It shows me that we got a lot of potential, and our roster ain't even done yet.
Yeah. I'm not trying to depress y'all. I'm just asking a question. It was a question that came up. I forgot. It might have been on Twitter. We got another matchup. Maybe we don't get to the second round. Or do you feel we were a second round team no matter what the matchup was?
Damn, Steph.
All
I mean,
You know what I'm saying? You got-
Wait, look at how it went, right? It could have been that we had Miami in the first round. You realize that?
Yeah.
Okay, so if we did get Miami in the first round, we'd have been out in the first round. If because we lost to Miami.
Oh, I think the Heat went on a heater. Pun intended, and they know that. They know that. Things broke right for Miami. They understand that.
Yeah.
They not sitting there. Nobody in the Miami's organization think they're a perennial Eastern Conference Finals team. They know they got work to do. As a matter of fact, I was listening to Pat Riley's press conference. He actually, unlike the Knicks front office, he actually met the media, and they was talking for like 35, 40 minutes. And he said, listen, we almost didn't even make the playoffs.
Right.
Because of the playoff. And then they lost one game. And then in the second game, somebody had to hit a shot, a crazy shot for them to get into, to actually get into the play. And so they understand they got on a good roll, and they know they need to upgrade to the team to stay there. I just want to make sure if the Knicks understand that. Yeah.
Right.
Here's my take on it. The East is wide open.
Mhm.
I mean, Milwaukee is maybe losing Lopez. That's going to be a huge impact for them, I think. Boston is still an excellent team, but Marcus Smart was their best perimeter defender. How do they recover? That's not easily replaceable. I don't care who you are. Can they be better? Yes. Is KP going to be healthy? We don't know. And so I think there are a lot of question marks in Boston right now. Philly, where's James Harden going to be? Where's Tobias Harris going to be? So there's a lot of question marks in Philadelphia as well. So, and Cleveland is good, but we just spanked them in 5 games, with the roster that we have now, flaws and all. So as far as the Eastern Conference is concerned, I think we're definitely a one player away. I think we definitely an upgrade, and it doesn't necessarily have to be a massive upgrade. But if we can get an upgrade, because we're a young team, right, and we have continuity, we have all of our we have everybody coming back. We've got a solid coach. We have a star point guard, and point guard play is super important in playoffs. And so I think the East is wide open. Now, Denver, I don't know. Jokic is a different animal. I don't know. But you know what? Get me to the finals and let's see what happens. You know what? Anybody can win a 7-game series. Get me to the finals and roll the dice and see what happens. And I think if you add a quality player to this roster, and I'm not talking Donte DiVincenzo, I'm talking about a legitimate starter at the 2 or the 3 spot, or if you want to say an upgrade at the 5, okay, but I think the 2 and the 3 are bigger needs, just me personally. But if you add and that player may not be out there. That's the other thing. We don't know who's going to be available. But I think the Knicks are real tough. I think that the door is open. The question is, are we going to walk through it or not? That I don't know, because things are. It's almost like we're walking a tightrope. You know what I mean? Because we could, with a wrong move, we could fall back down and into the abyss. But with the right move, we could rise to the championship. And if we just, we may just keep our balance and stay right where we are too. So, I think all of those possibilities are in play. But I agree with Jay Boogie. As long as Jalen Brunson is healthy, I don't see this team being a playing team. I see us top 6 in the East as long as we have a healthy Brunson, regardless of what the rest of the roster makeup is.
Yeah, I mean, for a lot of the fans that want to stay pat, if we lose ground next year and we finish 6th or 7th, just be okay with that. You know, for those who say stay pat, don't make any changes, let this team grow. If you know, if we fall to 6 or 7, just be easy. Don't panic.
They will.
Because that, you know, that can happen. You know, that can happen. I'm just saying, I'm not saying we will, but if we stay pat and, you know, we don't make it to the Eastern Conference Finals, don't panic. That's all I'm saying.
And that could be helpful too, you know, because we did that, you know what I'm saying? We're now going on 3 years ago. You know, even when we lost to Atlanta, coming into that season, nobody thought we was going to even do that, become a 4th seed. So all that really was a learning situation, even though we felt how we felt because we lost to Atlanta. But you know, from that right there, they kind of went in a panic mode and they switched up the roster some. When like Queen is saying right now, don't go in a panic mode if we run it back. See if you run it back and we don't go nowhere and we at least get to where we was at this year, at least as far as, you know, the seedings and stuff, but the same results happen in the playoff. Now you know it's time for change. But, you know, sometimes you don't have to make change, you know what I'm saying, on the first outcome, you know, especially if nobody else is making no changes over here in the East, because I think, like, I'm with the captain. I think Boston got weaker with their defensive player of the year going to Memphis, and you brought in Porzingis. So what? You know, you got Porzingis. Julius can deal with him. You know, we ain't worried about that. But that little short dude that used to give us problems with our guard full court pressure, he's up out of there. And in Philly, they breaking up. Milwaukee don't know what's going on with Chris and Lopez. Houston want to give him that bag. You know what I'm saying? Miami they get about to lose straws. Indiana offered them 48 for 3 years. Now, a small move. If you don't get Donte, I'm cool with going to grab Gabe Benson. And then you can kick quickly in his position. And also it hurts Miami. It's certain things that you can do, but sometimes because you lose, that don't mean you got to break and tear everything up sometimes, you know what I'm saying? But I want to see the team get better and swing for something. I do that. But like Queen said, you don't have to if we don't make no changes, don't go in panic mode because we still got everything. We still got all the picks. We still got movable contracts. Everything can happen, you know. Sometimes you got to see for a second time. Let me find out for real, do I need to get rid of these guys or do I need to keep them, you know?
Right. Yeah, no doubt about it. But, you know, Denver, they was able to grow through, you know, that team was able to grow through tough times. You know, Malone was able to keep his job after some tough, you know, playoff losses, and they was able to keep building. And the same thing with Miami. So I'm not saying we'll take a step back if we don't make changes. I'm just saying if we do, I just don't want the organization and the fans to overreact. That's all. Just don't overreact. Keep the course. Stay the course.
Interesting thing about Denver, I just thought of, it's the same point that you were making earlier, but at one point in their development, Denver had to make a choice. They had Nurkic and they had Jokic at the 5, right? And they had to choose between the two of them. I guess they chose right, but they went with the younger guy, interestingly enough. But
yeah, Malone was talking about that. He said they was on a losing streak. And he just said, let me just put this guy in, the Joker. Let me just put him in. And then they went on a 3-game winning streak. I think it was 3 games. And he said, you know what? I'm just gonna roll with it. We was in a tough spot. Nothing seemed to be working. I put him in and we started rolling. And he just stuck with him. And then eventually, you know, like you said, they moved on from Nurkic. I wonder how many minutes he was playing. It probably wasn't 40. But the coach was still able to see, you know.
The difference is Tibbs wouldn't do that because if we on a losing streak, Tibbs ain't gonna put Obi. Say, let me see. He's gonna live and die by Obi, by Julius Randle. That's the difference.
As well as he should, because he has the track record. I think Nurkic was still young at that time too. But he was, he was the better, player.
He was more established at that
He
time.
was more established at that time. Right.
Queen, I'm gonna buy you a Tom Thibodeau poster.
Yeah,
I know you love it.
definitely.
And I want to see it behind you too when you're doing the show. I want a big tips poster behind.
Yeah. I mean, you know what? It's not even that. I feel like no matter what coach you bring in, they're gonna have weaknesses. We bring in another coach, they're gonna be a better offensive coach than Tibbs. Maybe they're not a good defensive coach. Or you're gonna bring in a coach, they're gonna have the offense and defense down pat, but the guys are not gonna respect them. You know, he's not gonna command the locker room, perhaps, you know, like Tibbs. So the point is, with these coaches, it's about fit as well. And, you know, sometimes you have a roster and you fit and you're able to make beautiful music together. And then sometimes the same coach that was great in one place is not great somewhere else. What, he's not a good coach? What happened?
Sometimes it's the same place. They're great one season and they're not great the next. And then they're great the next season again.
Right.
Sounds like Tom Thibodeau.
Right. You know, why did Nick Nurse get fired? He's a good coach. You know what I mean? So it you know, it happens. So I feel like we have a quality coach, a perfect coach. Absolutely not. But you ain't finding them. You know, and go in the Clippers chat, they complaining about Tyrone Lue. Go in any chat, the fans are complaining about the coach.
Spurs fans wanted Pop out of here last year and this year.
Right. He getting too old. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Players aren't developing fast enough.
Right.
And Steve Kerr, they was complaining about why he keep going with the small ball lineup. We need some, you know, we need some size. He's messing with the rotations. You know, they was complaining about Steve Kerr.
Especially when he traded they big. God almighty.
Yep.
Right. Yeah. Anything else before we
hit the like button on the way out? We got
okay. 212, and then we got 163.
163, man. If you hit it on the way out, we might hit the 200 likes tonight.
Quick and Obi for Ananobi. I would
Quick and Obi.
Listen, man, if you get an OB here, you got to get RJ out of here, man. It's OG Ananobi's coming to take RJ's spot if he's coming.
So you don't like them together?
I don't like them together either, to be honest.
I agree. Yeah, OG would be in place of RJ, not alongside.
Not with them. Okay.
Stay tuned.
All right. Any last words before we get out of here?
Salute to the chat, man. You know how we do.
Super active tonight, the chat.
Yeah, definitely.
Always.
Shout out to
when's the next show, Queen? Thursday.
You might have a part. Listen, if the Knicks do something, well, I might do a simulcast with Freezy tomorrow.
We might have an emergency show.
Yeah, but we might need to have it more. If the Knicks pop off and do something big, I was gonna drive upstate tomorrow. I'm gonna do a Saturday morning. I just gotta be ready. You know, if something happened, I need to be able to pop on.
I thought you were going up there tomorrow.
On the side of the road. You know, something pop off.
Right.
You know, we don't want none of that. We want you to be, you know, prepared to, you know what I'm saying, do your thing, man.
Right. Yeah, I do think the Knicks can make 2 trades. Yep. Mix it up. Trade Randall for Towns and RJ for Anunoby. No scared money. I do think the Knicks can if they wanted to. That's just a lot of change in one season, though. But they can do it if they want. While on the road, right.
And if it continue on going like, you know what I'm saying, how it's been this year, you already know Tom has a certain amount of players he want to play. So ain't no we signing a guy. This is a sign when you bring a Donte in. So best believe they're going to do something. Somebody's got to be moved away, especially if Tom's want to stick to a solid 9. Definitely no more than a 10. What he's doing is adding on right now. and the rotation is getting real tight. Somebody got to go. Somebody's going to go. I look for two moves. One dealing with Toronto and one with another big name somewhere. Whether it's going to be during the trade or at Leon's best swinging time. Leon has been doing a great job at the trade deadline. He has been doing, the Derrick Rose was great for us. The Josh Hart was great for us. So they do their homework and they due diligence, before the deadline ends. And if Leon stings something before then, you get another disgruntled player. But I don't want James. Don't bring James over here. Let the rapping Duke go in the hard. Go down to Houston, man.
The thing is, with a 10-man rotation, you paying guys. We're going to have the highest paid second unit in the entire league. And when you go 10, these guys are not getting minutes. Like, how many minutes is behind Brunson? So if you go 10, either IQ or Divincenzo, one of them is playing behind Brunson. How many minutes is left behind Brunson? 14?
Obi minutes. Right.
So you playing DiVincenzo or IQ 14, 16 minutes, and you paying them 12 minutes, a million or whatever if you extend quickly. No, that's a lot of money for 12 minutes. How many minutes is behind RJ? Now, RJ minutes did come down when
Hart.
When Hart came, but they'll be sharing minutes. So even if it goes down to 24, that's a lot of money to be paying Hart 20 million. Well, it'll only be a 13 million next year for 24 minutes, and you paying RJ Barrett 23 million the first year of his contract for 24 minutes. You know what I mean? So you got to make movements. A 10-man rotation limits people's minutes. And if you're only paying them guys 8 million, then you can do that. But if you're paying them 20, 14, 19, 18 minutes to play 12, 14, 16 minutes a game, I just think that's too much money per minute. That's such a thing. That's such a thing.
I said you just made up something.
Well, I agree with you, Queen, but remember, even if IQ gets extended, he'll still be on that set, whatever his salary is.
That's true. He
won't be on that extension until the following season.
That's true.
Not that I want him playing 15 minutes a game. I think he's got to get 25, but that's
because of how good he is and how good we are when he's on the court. Mitch and Isaiah Hartenstein already doing a minute share. Even if it's
the right ball.
Right. And then who else? The shooting guard position,
Grimes.
So then you would have somebody backing up Grimes. If you have a 10-man rotation, somebody would be backing up Grimes. So they would be splitting minutes. So the 9-man rotations allows you to get some guys extra minutes, like IQ.
Right.
Yeah.
You're going to get rid of him before you give him the money. I don't need no more conversation of a poison pill and all that. It took me about a month to understand what the poison pill was. I don't want to go through that all over again with IQ. Let somebody else set the tone what they want to pay him. That's why I think that thing for him and OG, I think it'll work out real lovely if we're going to move a piece, especially to get back a piece that I know we can use and Toronto can use him too. I think it would be lovely. You know what I'm saying? And one more thing real quick. Hey, Stewie, I need you to go in the Liberty office and tell them, go get Joelle Lloyd. Go get your homegirl. If the Aces don't crush us again, we need to get that girl Lloyd over here. Then we'll have the guards that can play against the Aces. The Aces are real fun for Liberty girls, man. That's great.
That's because they out there playing ball, and we out here moving the ball around because everybody think you get points for ball movement.
One other thing I wanted to say that earlier about the Josh Hart contract, because he opted in, I think that also serves as like a no trade clause for him.
Right.
For the, you know what I mean? He's extension eligible now, but he also in effect has a no trade clause for the till the next calendar year or something like that.
Yes, I think that's correct. All right. All right, Jarrell, Jeff, Boogie, IJ. I appreciate you guys. I appreciate the chat. You guys was rocking with us heavy tonight. I appreciate that. We got 170 likes.
Everything was great with the chat except for them hitting the like button. We got to 170, which is good. I was hoping we had the 200, but otherwise the chat was on fire, man. As usual, it was like rocking real hard.
Definitely. Shout out to Paris Duggar for the super chat. Shout out to everyone else for commenting. Yeah. Share it on your social media page as well. That's another way to spread the love. You know, there may be people who don't know about us. So if you share it on Twitter, share it on Facebook, share it on Instagram, you know, whatever the social media platforms that you are, that's another way to get exposure for the show. Appreciate you guys. And, you know, there might be a pop-up show tomorrow. We'll see. If not, I'll definitely be on with Freezy as well. So I might do both, be on with Freezy and do a pop-up show if something pop off.
Yeah, shout out to Mega NYK, man. You always rocking with us.
Word.
My guy.
Mega, man.
Yeah, definitely.
Double J, that's my Cardoza guy, Sherwin, everybody, man. Everybody.
Yeah.
We do not sleep until ain't no more.
A-Train, Keith Turner. We have a lot of people.
Keith Turner. Yeah. Keith Turner want this whole roster turned over. That's
ain't no sleep until all the podcasts is done. And
right.
just as soon as you think you're going to sleep 3-4 o'clock in the morning, you hear Smoking Nick.
right.
Either the Smoking Nick or Freezy just popped in the middle of the night.
I got up one morning. I said they went on for 7. I saw a 7-hour show when I woke up.
That don't make no sense, man.
Nuts.
Yeah, wow.
Hey, man, a lot of people work nights, man. They be at work just chilling, listening to the pod.
That's true. Anthony D, appreciate you.
Quiet Money, B-Baller.
Yeah, definitely. Nice show, Anthony D. I caught you on Freezy's show. I was able to listen to it while I was driving upstate. Yeah, I appreciate I appreciate you guys.
The real Anthony Davis. He got that first pick in my league. What you gonna do with that, man? You want to trade?
Yeah. All right. Out.
You tune in, that means you're feeling the vibe.
Sister, you one of a kind.
Yes.
Oh, sister, it's time you
That's
shine. Don't stop.
Where you at?
Don't stop.
Where you at?
Don't stop.
What?
Don't stop.